It's Friday, October 10th. Today, capturing carbon in Manitoba, why a company behind a major environmental project planned for the Southwest says Manitoba is ideally suited. Round and round goes the mail. Canada Post workers are planning to replace the general strike with a series of rotating strikes in hopes of keeping pressure up. And crews on the front lines of Manitoba's historic summer of battling wildfires received the province's highest award for their bravery and commitment. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. The long weekend is here. And of course, Thanksgiving is on Monday. Many families will be gathering to have that special meal. Mine is on Saturday, and lots to do before then. Well, at Silo Mission, their meal is happening today. So that is where our Joseph Bernacki is live this morning, showing us the prep and what goes on in the kitchen before the meal is even served. We're going to find out how many turkeys, how many potatoes, the whole thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, I know. You think you're busy planning for a dozen people. Imagine planning for hundreds.
Yes, it's going to be a big day for them there. But the weather will be, what will it be like this weekend?
Beautiful. I mean, we've been so lucky, especially the latter part of this week. I know it started a little bit cool, but this now, these beautiful temperatures, they're going to carry us right into the weekend. I say that, and it's 2 degrees, and that's a little bit cool out there this morning, but it's still technically above seasonal. 1 degree would be a normal low. We've got winds out of the north-northwest this morning, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 90%. But once again, those conditions very clear. It's going to be a beautiful and sunny day today across the province. Everybody gets to enjoy that sunshine as we're rolling on into the weekend. There's a look at the satellite image, and really nothing going on, which just means that once that sun rises at about, what are we at now? 7:42, I think, is now official sunrise time. So certainly it's coming up a little bit later, but we'll enjoy it today with those really pleasant temperatures. I know the last couple of days we've been pushing up into those mid or high teens, and we're going to do it once again. Futurecast gives us an idea of how things will play out over the next couple of days. Maybe just a couple of clouds along that eastern border. Even those will be clearing out. And then sunny conditions right across the province all day today. Clear conditions expected overnight. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine once again. By the time we're wrapping up the weekend, though, no, I keep calling it wrapping up the weekend. Sunday, it's a long weekend. We're not wrapping things up till Monday. Anyway, by Sunday, expect some rain to be moving through. And that's actually going to start Saturday night. And then you can see it just kind of hanging on that eastern border there. We will get that rain moving through, especially in the overnight hours and into Sunday, and then the temperatures drop off. It will be cooling down on the other side of that. We'll eventually get a little more sunshine back next week with a return to seasonal temperatures.
Thank you, Terry. No apologies from the Manitoba Premier after taking some heat from the Manitoba legal community. The Manitoba Bar Association and the Criminal Defense Lawyers Association of Manitoba both took issue with statements Canoe made in the Manitoba legislature on Tuesday. He criticized a judge's decision to grant bail to a defendant charged in a case of a fatal highway crash. On Thursday, Canoe said he is only giving voice to the people who elected him.
I respect that line between what we do here as the legislative and executive branches of government and what the judges and JJPs do with the judicial branch of government. But this is a democracy, and every arm of government needs to have a way to listen to the voice of the people. And in this case, you know, I'm just helping to articulate a real concern that I think everyone recognizes around bail reform, catch and release, whatever you want to call it. The point is, a lot of people are fed up and frustrated with what they perceive to be a revolving door in the justice system.
The case involves the fatal crash near Altona last November that killed 35-year-old Sarah Unger and her 8-year-old daughter Alexa. Navjeet Singh is charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death. This week, a judge granted bail to Singh, even though he previously evaded police for 9 months by leaving Canada. Singh is now back in Canada to face trial. Earlier this week, a judge granted bail, allowing Singh to live in Ontario with conditions. A massive environmental development has been announced for southwestern Manitoba. Montreal-based company Deep Sky will start building a carbon capture facility in the Pipestone Two Borders area next year. And at full capacity, the company says more than 500,000 tons of CO2 will be removed. Here's CTV's Jeff Gill.
One of the world's largest carbon capture facilities is being planned for southwestern Manitoba.
I really think we have a unique opportunity in the next couple of years here to really put Canada on the map for global carbon removal.
Montreal-based Deep Sky says shovels will hit the ground in early 2026 for the $200 million first phase of the project, which they say will eventually remove 500,000 tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year. The company says this will create 1,000 construction jobs and hundreds more people will be needed to work at the facility.
We will need a lot of maintenance folks. We will need a lot of operators for the well. We are going to need a lot of operators for the capture facility. And I think Manitoba is really interesting because it actually has a very suitable labor force.
They've narrowed down their choice to 2 sites in the RMs of Pipestone and 2 Borders.
It's unbelievable the amount of jobs it's going to create and the economy, what it'll do for the economy.
Deep Sky also has a partnership with the Dakota Grand Tribal Council.
A percentage will go to Deep Sky and a percentage will go to our nations for economic development.
The Premier says the province made changes to legislation so the project would be eligible for federal tax credits.
When we can find an opportunity for people to bring federal investment to Manitoba at the same time that business, a new startup like this, an exciting industry, is bringing money to Manitoba, it seems like a real win for the economy.
Deep Sky says Manitoba was chosen because of the geological makeup of the region and the hydro needed to power the project. Some environmental groups are skeptical of carbon capture, arguing there are better uses for the energy, like electrifying transit.
We would say that it's an unproven, costly, and incredibly energy-intensive approach to emissions reduction.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Manitoba facility will both capture and store the carbon, which Deep Sky says saves on transportation costs. A nationwide walkout by Canada Post workers will soon be replaced by rotating strikes. The union representing striking postal workers made the announcement yesterday, saying rotating strikes will start tomorrow. The national president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, says the move will allow Canadians to get their mail while they continue to work toward collective agreements. This comes after Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu said the union and Crown Corporation have a responsibility to find a solution. The number of measles cases continues to rise in Manitoba. New data from the province shows there have been 225 confirmed cases so far this year. 5 of those were in the first 4 days of October. Another 18 cases are listed as probable. Measles is a highly contagious disease that's sometimes fatal. It spreads through exposure to an infected person's mucus or saliva, and droplets can linger in the air for hours. Those on the front lines of this year's historic wildfire fight have been given one of Manitoba's highest honors. At the legislature Thursday afternoon, Premier Wab Kinew awarded the Order of the Buffalo Hunt to members of Manitoba's Wildfire Service and emergency management personnel. The Premier thanked every firefighter, emergency worker, and volunteer who worked to protect their communities. Among those recognized was a familiar face during the province's many wildfire updates this summer, Christine Stevens, the Assistant Deputy Minister for Manitoba's Emergency Management Organization.
I stand here on behalf of the many hands and hearts that carried Manitoba through this wildfire season. This recognition belongs not to one group or to one person, but to a province that rose together. People and organizations of every kind worked side by side in the face of extraordinary challenge. This was one of our most difficult wildfire seasons in our history.
More than 2 million hectares burned over the season, leading to 2 provincial states of emergency and 59 evacuation orders. Nearly 33,000 Manitobans were forced from their homes, some for months at a time. Stevens dedicated this recognition to those evacuees and to Richard and Sue Nowell, the couple from Lac-du-Bonnet who died in a wildfire in May. Turning now to the football field, Daniel Mack's varsity team hosted the Beaver Brave Broncos Thursday afternoon. The Broncos blew past Daniel Mack with a winning score of 61-1. Also in high school varsity action, Elmwood won its match 30-13 against Sisler Murdoch McKay, beat out Portage Collegiate 62-26. Churchill won at home against St. John's High School 53-20. St. Paul's beat out River East 45-6, and it was a close one at Springfield Collegiate, with West Kildonan Collegiate winning 7-6. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic along McPhillips Street. It looks like things are starting to pick up over here already, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any issues out there, text them to us, please, at 10400. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live at Siloam Mission this morning. It's a busy place there today.
It certainly is going to be, Rochelle. Good morning, and of course, good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. As Rochelle mentioned, we're spending our CTV Your Morning Winnipeg live today at Siloam Mission, where we're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. This is a tradition, of course. They have a sit-down meal to serve to Winnipeg's vulnerable population. In just a few hours, this place is going to be even more lively. Kitchen staff already has been in here before 6 a.m. this morning. Hard-working preparations to get all this food prepped, of course, for today's meal that they're going to be serving at noon. Just in about half an hour's time, we're going to be speaking with the kitchen services manager, a returning guest we've had on our show many times. It'll be great to speak with her, talking about all the hard work that's gone into prepping this meal. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about how you can volunteer with Siloam Mission, a great organization, of course, here in the downtown area. Opportunities like that and so much more. Stay tuned for more great conversations on CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. We'll be back soon.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Cool. I'm glad that I've got the extra layers on and my gloves too. No messing around this morning, but we're still above seasonal. I mean, it's just that there's that adjustment period as we're moving from one season into the colder seasons. Having to just kind of get used to what these normal temperatures are like. 1 degree would in fact be that seasonal low, and we're even just above it at 2 degrees. The conditions are clear out here this morning, and the winds are lighter than yesterday, out of the west, just 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, but the humidity sitting at 90%. These clear conditions will be noticed across the entire province. The last couple of days we've had sunshine here in the south, but northern Manitoba has been dealing with some heavier clouds, maybe even some scattered precipitation at times. Not the case today. All of us soaking up the sunshine. Once it rises, of course, at about 20 to 8, almost quarter to 8 now is when we're seeing the sun here in Winnipeg. But it will not only rise and bless us through the day, it's going to throw a little warmth our way, more so than you might expect this time of year when 12 degrees is a seasonal high. We're pushing up into the mid to high teens. Some places could even hit that 20-degree mark today. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th to 9th.
Good morning. The province is eyeing Point Douglas for the first longer-term detention center for intoxicated people. The Premier confirms his government is looking to create 20 spaces at Nadinim Waymak on the Disraeli Freeway near Main Street. It would be followed by another 20 spaces early in the new year. It comes as the Premier tries to pass laws allowing authorities to detain a person for up to 72 hours, opposed to the current 24 hours. Wab Canoe says the current law was written with alcohol in mind, but a person can be intoxicated for much longer while on drugs such as meth.
This is about protecting people, but also protecting the community and addressing costs in the healthcare system. So when I think about the emergency room at Health Sciences Center, when I think about kids walking home from school in some of these neighborhoods, when I think about seniors who've been targeted in random violence by people who are using meth, to me the justification is so strong for us to move to open this facility.
Canoe added a longer detention time would give workers a greater opportunity to connect people with addictions and medical support. Opposition PC leader Abhi Khan supports extending the time a person can be detained while intoxicated, but says there's still too many unanswered questions.
Questions like who's going to work these? Who's going to transport people from one site to one site? What's going to happen in rural Manitoba? Who's going to fund these? Where are they going to find the healthcare workers? Where are these going to be built? Who's going to pay for them?
MLAs were scheduled to debate and vote on the amendments this afternoon. A group of Manitoba First Nations plans to take the federal government to court, claiming it hasn't seen millions of dollars in promised funding.
And so Canada had promised to pay, but hasn't provided the funding.
The Interlake Reserves Tribal Council says Indigenous Services Canada committed more than $15.5 million this past fiscal year under Jordan's Principle funding. Jordan's Principle is a legal ruling which says First Nations children must receive medical, educational, or other services in a timely manner. But the chiefs in the Interlake area claim they're still waiting for more than $5 million of the promised funding.
So because of these broken promises, we can't deliver the services our families need to survive. We have had to cut services, we've had to cut staff. We have a backlog of over 400 families in need to date. And so we've tried to work cooperatively with Canada, but the situation is urgent.
The council says it's made one last request to Ottawa, and if it doesn't have a response by today, it will file for a judicial review in federal court. CTV News has reached out to Indigenous Services Canada for comment, and we're awaiting a response. It's still unclear what Mark Carney accomplished on his Tuesday trip to Washington to meet with Donald Trump, although a comment by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce initially sent a chill across the border. CTV's Mike Le Couture on reaction in Ottawa.
A day after the American Commerce Secretary said Canada must come second to the U.S. in the auto sector, Canadian lawmakers and car makers insist the industry isn't in danger.
They don't ask, is it Canadian or American? They said, can we ship it by Tuesday?
At a Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Canadian automotive groups tried to calm the waters. The head of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association says Howard Lutnick's comments are just posturing.
We know that we need each other. We have an integrated supply chain. Canada is the most important market for the U.S. auto manufacturing sector. So we should expect these ups and downs through the next few weeks.
The U.S. currently has a 25% tariff on Canadian-made cars, with a carve-out for the U.S. elements in those vehicles. However, the Canadian auto parts industry says their American counterparts are lobbying the White House.
Those Canadian assembly plants buy $25 billion worth of parts from our factories every year, and you're hurting us.
The Ford Motor Company reported that tariffs will cost it about $2 billion U.S. this year. General Motors lost $1.1 billion in the second quarter. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the Prime Minister isn't standing up for the industry.
He's accepting second place for Canadian auto workers and continuing tariffs on our finished products.
The federal finance minister disagrees, saying the Carney government is fighting for the auto sector and its workers.
I see ourselves, when I say that, Canada and the U.S. more as complementary than in real competition.
That argument is likely being made by the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, who remains in Washington to continue talks with his American counterparts. Mike Le Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now to the much-anticipated Winnipeg Jets home opener. It was a tough start for the Jets as they hosted the Dallas Stars.
Barron's going to get ahead of steam. Barron trying to get it to the net. Morgan Barron scores!
That goal from the Bear helped re-energize the Jets in the third after the Stars held onto a 4-goal lead. Despite the Jets turning up the heat, Stars won 5-4. The Jets are staying in Winnipeg for their next matchup. They host the Los Angeles Kings Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. One lane will be open in both directions on Cordon Avenue between Centennial and Lanark. Roblin is also down to one lane in either direction from William R. Clement Parkway to Princeton. And one lane in each direction will remain open at all times on Jefferson between Fur to Watson Streets. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share with us, text them please at 10400.
Looking through the Bath Fitter Live Eye now. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It is clear out there this morning once again. Plenty of sunshine is expected, but a beautiful way to be finishing off the work week and rolling on into a long weekend. And these temperatures, not only are the conditions spectacular, clear, which means plenty of sunshine, the temperatures will be on the rise beautifully across the province today. Sure, it seems a little bit cool starting out, but 1 degree is in fact normal for this time of year for a low temperature, and we're still still above that, coming in at 2 degrees. Many places here in the southeast are even a couple degrees warmer than that. Right at that seasonal 1 degree, we've got Brandon, Melita, and then there's Roblin at -2, so a little bit cooler off to the west. Northern Manitoba, also a fistful of degrees above the freezing mark right now, for the most part anyway. There's a couple of places that are a little bit closer, but staying on the plus side of freezing. And with some clear conditions today, we'll all be enjoying that sunshine. I'll look at the satellite image, and there's really not much to see here. Just a couple of clouds, thinner clouds that'll be clearing out, and even much of northern Manitoba will enjoy that sunshine. We'll be enjoying the sunshine and the warmth of it all with some lighter, more moderate winds today. Enjoy that because those winds will be back tomorrow. 4 degrees as kids are getting settled into the classroom, so still a little bit cool first thing this morning. 12 degrees by noontime, and by time kids are coming home, 16 degrees. It's that 12 degrees that would in fact be normal for this time of year. So we'll still push a few degrees above that, and we'll do it again tomorrow. And even on Sunday, though, Sunday is likely to be a little bit soggy with the rain moving in Saturday night and continuing throughout the day. We will see those temperatures dropping off only for a couple of days, and then we're back not to the above seasonal temps, but to what is normal for this time of year. It was a beautiful shot taken in the Grand Marais area. Thanks to Maureen for these beautiful fall leaves in front of the setting sun. Keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca, and we'll be back right after this break.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off some bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is savings. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word savings with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. The Legault government has presented a draft Quebec constitution. The premier is calling it the law of all laws, setting out the province's values and guiding principles for any future legislation. Critics say there wasn't enough consultation. CTV's Kelly Gregg reports.
It's known as Bill 1. The Quebec Constitution sets out to highlight the province's distinctions within Canada.
We are in the Canadian Federation, so the supreme law is the Canadian Constitution.
That still holds true, but any future laws will also have to follow the provincial constitution, which defines Quebec's values. They include secularism, Quebec's model of integration, and protection of the French language. All topics the CAQ campaigned on and passed controversial laws like Bills 21 and 96.
That's a tool inside the Canadian Federation to be sure to protect the autonomy of Quebec.
The English Montreal School Board is currently challenging the CAQ's language law. But going forward, the new law would stop public institutions from using taxpayer money on court battles. Lawyer Frédéric Bérard says that is a major flaw.
We want to have a full possibility to challenge in court the constitutionality of laws. This is how it works. I mean, you cannot suspend that.
If you want to contest bills of the National Assembly and you are in a public organization, take your own money.
The Constitution also enshrines the right to abortion, respect for English-speaking communities, and a break from monarchical traditions like MNAs having to swear an oath to the crown. While the opposition supports the idea of a constitution, it says the CAQ is working backwards, introducing the bill first and consulting on it second.
The problem is that there was no opportunity for the society to discuss this at large.
It should be done by the people, for the people, not only by Simon-Jeanin Barrette in his office.
It's a useless exercise by the CAQ government.
The Justice Minister refused to answer if the Constitution could be passed by a simple majority or if more support would be needed in the House. The CAQ rebuffing the idea the Constitution is a way to rally support, even if it is less than a year before the election.
Vive le Québec.
Kelly Gregg, CTV News, Quebec City.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's 2 degrees outside this morning. You'll want that extra layer on. Very clear conditions, so have those sunglasses with you too. Eventually, you'll be needing them, although that sun won't be rising till almost 7:45 this morning. Winds, they're out of the west right now, just 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 90%. The sun's not coming up till a couple minutes later than yesterday, but with these very clear conditions, we'll likely see a little bit of that day glow further in advance of it than we did yesterday, because yesterday, while we did enjoy plenty of sunshine through most of the day, there was that time just around sunrise where those heavier clouds moved in, and that's not likely to be the case for us. It's looking very clear this morning, and it's very likely to stay that way as we continue on through the day and across the entire province. All of us get to enjoy the beautiful sunny conditions and the warm temperatures that will go along with that. 16 degrees, that's where we're headed today. Winds won't be anywhere near as strong as yesterday out of the west. Just a moderate breeze is expected. And then those winds into the overnight hours will start to shift out of the south as we drop down to 6 degrees. Still with the very clear conditions overnight. That sets us up for plenty of sunshine again for tomorrow, but we'll start to see a few more clouds building in to the afternoon, and those winds increasing as well. Those winds tomorrow getting up to about 60 kilometers per hour, so very breezy, but warmer too. 18 degrees are expected high, well above the seasonal 12 degrees. And even into Sunday, though we'll be looking at some soggy conditions, the above seasonal temperatures will stick around, dropping off before we rebound to what is normal for this time of year.
2 construction workers in downtown Winnipeg narrowly escaped a knife attack. It happened Tuesday afternoon at a construction site in the 200 block of Portage Avenue. Police say a man pulled out a knife and began chasing 2 workers. The men were able to escape to a nearby building. The one worker had his jacket slashed. About 20 minutes later, officers found and arrested the suspect on Balmoral Street. A knife was seized at the time of his arrest. The man is now facing assault and weapons-related charges and is in custody. In developing news south of the border, New York Attorney General Letitia James was just charged as part of a mortgage fraud investigation. James was indicted on charges of bank fraud and false statements to a financial institution following a presentation to a grand jury in Virginia. The prosecutor in this case was appointed last month after her predecessor was pushed out after resisting pressure to file charges. James sued Donald Trump and his company for fraud while he was running for office, saying no one is above the law. She's denied wrongdoing, saying she made an error while filling out a form related to a home purchase. A ceasefire in the Middle East appears to be in effect after Israel's government approved a deal with Hamas to stop fighting. Under the deal, the remaining hostages will be released. So will Palestinians who've been detained. But together with the relief, there's also the reality that there are still major hurdles on the path to long-term peace. CTV's Heather Wright has more.
Standing on top of emergency vehicles, paramedics in Gaza City celebrate the first step toward peace. Honestly, these are indescribable feelings, this man says. We can't believe it. At Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, dancing and singing. Hope that finally the hostages will soon be home.
This is the joy that we are waiting for.
The first phase of this truce will see all remaining Israeli hostages freed in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinians being held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces will also withdraw to an agreed-upon line.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages.
Still, many questions remain with the more contentious elements of a long-term deal yet to be agreed to, including Israeli demands that Hamas disarm and the Hamas demand for a complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from the enclave.
When they disarm, whether Israel withdraws sufficiently to send a signal to Hamas that they can disarm. Those are the questions going forward.
In the meantime, Israel is preparing hospitals to receive the hostages once they are released after more than 730 days in captivity. Palestinians are cautiously hopeful.
I hope that this is something that will last.
Palestinian Canadian Mansour Shoman escaped Gaza in March of 2024 and says one day he will return to help rebuild the territory.
It's going to take time. It's going to take years to rebuild what they've lost. But I hope that it's the first step towards achieving that together with the rest of the world.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the 48 remaining hostages will be released on either Monday or Tuesday, 20 of whom are still believed to be alive.
The former executive assistant to late Elmwood East Kildonan councillor Jason Schreier launched his campaign Thursday to take over the seat, and it kicked off with an endorsement from Schreier's widow.
I hope you vote for him. If you voted for Jason, vote for Chris. You will not be disappointed.
Sarah Schreier says her husband considered candidate Chris Swir-Eda to be a close friend and kindred spirit. Swir-Eda worked with Schreier as his executive assistant for the past 3 years, right up until Schreier's death in April. If elected, he plans to carry on Schreier's work.
Jason and I had many projects on the go, and replacing the Louise Bridge was one of our projects, working with nonprofit and other community groups to try to lower the cost of living for the constituents in this area. That was a huge passion of Jason's, and I share that passion, and I'm hoping for the chance to continue the work we've began.
Swir-Eda says his other priorities include restoring the service of the old transit system, cracking down on crime in the community, and advocating for more provincial action on homelessness. Swir-Eda is one of 7 nominated candidates in the by-election set for October 25th. Okay, who wants to see an adorable newborn? An adorable newborn hippo calf. This is at the Berlin Zoo, and the little guy was born at the end of September. He's a little underweight for a newborn, around 28 kilograms. He should be about 40 kilograms already, so zoo staff say it's important for him to eat up. That being said, what he's lacking in weight, he's making up for cuteness. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. One lane will be open in both directions on Cordon Avenue between Centennial and Lanark. Roblin is also down to one lane in either direction from William R. Clement Parkway to Princeton. And one lane in each direction will remain open at all times on Jefferson between Fur to Watson Streets. If you have any other traffic tips, text them to us, please, at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.26. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.25. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.18. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Things are heating up in the kitchen at Silo Mission. They're getting ready for their big Thanksgiving meal that's happening today. Stay with us for more details on how many turkeys are being served.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
All right, it is beautiful out here this morning. Maybe a little cool if you're not properly dressed for it. We are sitting at 2 degrees, just barely above the freezing mark, but 1 degree is the normal low temperature, so we're still coming in above that with clear conditions this morning, which will mean plenty of sunshine eventually. Winds at the moment, they're out of the west, 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 90%. These clear conditions will be enjoyed across the entire province today. Everybody gets to soak up the sunshine. Like I said, eventually. It's almost 8:15 before it's rising now and setting at about 10 to 7. I don't want to shorten us by an hour. We need that when these days are already getting shorter. We lose 3 to 4 minutes each day now this time of year, but we're still gaining with the temperatures. That's where we're still coming in above seasonal. 12 degrees a normal daytime high here in Winnipeg, but instead we're headed up into the mid-teens, around 16 degrees today. Plenty of sunshine, still with those mild temperatures expected as we're rolling into the start of the long weekend. Speaking of the long weekend, it's going to be a busy one. Joseph Bernacki is checking in to see what's going to get served up.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to come back to Silo Mission, especially at this time of year, just ahead of the Thanksgiving long weekend. Very pleased to be joined by Mary Lou Castro. She is the food services manager here at Silo Mission. This has become a yearly tradition of having you on our show at this time. Always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us. Yeah.
For our viewers who have never seen all the hard work that goes into today's meal preparation, tell us what you guys are getting ready ahead of the lunch hour.
Oh, it took us more than a month for the prep. So, of course, we start cutting turkeys. We're saving all the turkey breasts for this meal. And we got 120 whole turkeys this year because we're expecting more people coming. And then we have 140 pounds of potatoes going on, and 160 pieces of pies from Haderite Colony. Thank you for always supporting us. Dinner rolls.
It's a lot, Mary Lou.
120 pounds of coleslaw.
The turkeys, I understand this year, were made donated from anonymous donors. What did it mean to have that support?
Well, it means a lot to me. And staying anonymous, it's more than, you know. I asked them if I can do a shout out, but they say, no, Mary Lou. It's like, no, it's not about bragging, but I just wanted to be people to get inspired of what you do here. There's a lot of people in this, good people in this world.
Cameraman Scott was just showing that stuffing that was at the other end. What goes into that as well?
Oh, stuffing. Every year, I make sure that I put extra effort in our stuffing. So this time, I put some sage, and then there's celery, onion leeks, and all that.
How about the seasoning on the turkey? It smells delicious.
Oh, I put some rosemary, and this is actually garlic oil. Garlic olive oil that I'm putting in, and first I need to pat it dry to make it nice and crispy, and moist in the inside. So yeah, that's effort that we do every year will go a long way.
Wonderful. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure to have you on our show, Mary Lou. We're going to be back in the 7 o'clock hour speaking to some of the hardworking volunteers, and you can find out how you can help Silo Mission. Stay tuned for CTV Your Morning Winnipeg. We'll be back shortly.
This morning are down across the board. The Dow Jones is down 243 points. The Nasdaq is down 18. The S&P 500 also down 18 points. The dollar dipped slightly. The Hang Seng lost ground by 462 points, and the Nikkei is down 491. Good morning. It is 6:46. RCMP are asking for your help finding a suspect following an alleged kidnapping. It happened in Thompson last week. A 25-year-old woman reported being drugged at a bar and forcibly taken to a residence in Gillam. She told police over 48 hours she was assaulted and threatened, at one point having a gun pointed at her. She was able to escape and call police. Officers later arrested a 41-year-old woman from Gillam, but another suspect is still on the loose. 36-year-old Riley Champagne of Gillam is wanted on charges of kidnapping with a firearm, forcible confinement, assault with a weapon, and weapon-related offenses. Anyone with information is asked to call Gillam RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A man is charged nearly 2 years after a Winnipeg pedestrian was fatally hit by a vehicle. It happened in January of last year at Notre Dame Avenue and Cecil Street. An 18-year-old man was taken to hospital but died of his injuries. The driver, a 52-year-old man, remained at the scene. Earlier this week, police made the arrest, charging him with careless driving causing death. He was released on a promise to appear in court. If you want to work with Canada's heavy urban search and rescue disaster response team, you can't have a fear of heights. On Thursday, teams from 3 provinces were rappelling down a tall building. And as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, they didn't go over the edge alone.
It isn't every day that you see a dog rappelling down a 5-story building, but that's exactly what was happening at the Brandon Airport Thursday. And it wasn't just a single dog taking the plunge. A whole pack of dogs, along with their handlers, went over the ledge.
I wasn't nervous walking up, but as soon as you step over the ledge and the dog's on you, your heart rate definitely goes up. But you know what? It's all a learning opportunity.
And indeed, that's exactly why Canon Wong and other members from Canada's heavy urban search and rescue disaster response teams are in Brandon right now.
Okay, little tension.
Thursday, teams from Alberta and Vancouver, BC joined the Manitoba team for ongoing training.
I truly believe that 98% of people in Canada don't even know we have the capability which we have here.
And that includes the capability to drop into any disaster and search and rescue the victims. This includes from a collapsed building, a scenario the Vancouver team actually encountered in 2022.
We had a building parkade, rooftop parkade collapse in Vancouver, and it's where the rooftop parkade collapsed onto a bakery that was underneath, and my canine was actually the one that found the person.
Crawling over the rubble of a collapsed building isn't easy for the dog or their handler. That's why the teams train relentlessly and validate their skills every year.
These guys work really hard and train really hard to be ready for if any kind of disaster happened and did happen, our guys are prepared to go and to assist anybody that needs it.
No matter how high, they have to go to do it. John Hendricks, CTV News, Brandon.
The Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded this morning to an opposition activist who has been living in hiding in Venezuela.
Maria Machado has been a unifying leader of the opposition in Venezuela, and what they did in the election of 2024 was incredible, and it gives hope to an entire country.
Maria Machado has been recognized for, quote, keeping the flame of democracy burning amidst a growing darkness and ever-expanding authoritarianism in Venezuela. She has been living in hiding after attempting to run against President Nicolás Maduro. She was blocked from running and expelled from office in 2014. The Norwegian Nobel Committee says she now faces, quote, serious threats against her life. The committee added that democracy depends on people who refuse to stay silent. And here's what's happening now on Main and Broadway. It looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems, text them to us, please, at 10400.
2 degrees outside this morning with winds out of the west, 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 90%. It's gorgeous. It's clear. I mean, it's not gorgeous unless you're properly layered up. At 2 degrees, you will want those extra layers on. We're seeing similar temperatures around the province first thing this morning. Most of us are above the freezing mark, so that's some good news. I think there's just a couple of places in the southwest. They're coming in at -1. But it is going to be a beautiful day, and once that sun rises, about 7:45 now, it will be warming up across the entire province. And very clear conditions, as you can see. There's not much going on. Northern Manitoba, we're talking high single digits or even getting up into those almost mid-teens today, with at least a mix of sun and cloud or mainly sunny conditions. Right through the province today, we'll all be soaking up the sunshine, and I know that's a nice change up because the last couple of days, northern Manitoba has been dealing with some extra clouds. So today, enjoy the fact that it's cleared out nicely, and with the sunshine comes the warmth as well. With these temperatures, mid to high teens throughout the province, in fact, and right into the southeast, we're looking at these beautiful conditions to last not just today. We're going to do it again tomorrow, still with plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow night, though, that's when the change-up is going to happen. Actually, tomorrow we'll see a change-up with the winds, too. While today the winds will stay on the lighter side, they will get very strong and gusty throughout the day tomorrow. Still hitting well above seasonal, up to 18 degrees, but the rain moves in Saturday night, and that'll continue then through Sunday. After that, temperatures dropping only for a couple of days before we're rebounding again. Not quite to where we've been, but back up to what is normal for this time of year.
Thanks, Terry. Let's check in now on Bo from Bounce 99.9, who's reporting live from Jamaica this morning. Good morning, Bo. Happy Friday to you. How has your week been?
It's the happiest Friday, Rochelle. It's been a great week. This is our last morning broadcasting live here on Bounce 99.9. We, of course, are giving away all-inclusive trips for two to the Sandals South Coast Resort, which we are staying at right now. Behind me, you can see the beautiful Caribbean Ocean. I know Terry was talking about how gorgeous the weather is. It's 25 here right now. Every day it gets up to about 33. With the humidex, it's really hot. I don't know if it's because getting older, but I find it's hotter than anything else we've got. And this resort was named the most romantic resort in the Caribbean. Oh. Now, I'm here on my own, well, with my bounce friends. But yeah, if you're thinking of, a marriage or a honeymoon or, whatever, they've got everything here. They've got a chapel over the water. So if you get married, there's a glass floor. You're actually walking on water as you walk down the aisle. They've got cocktail lounges over the water. They've actually got bungalows if you like to stay over the water, where one wrong step when you step out in the morning and you're in the ocean. Lots of fun, but it's a huge resort. It's beautiful. And we're so excited to send people down here to enjoy an all-inclusive trip for two. Rochelle, it's just a beautiful thing. I love it down here.
I can imagine. Lucky you.
Yes, we are loving it. It's all about the listeners getting a lucky trip down here. I've never been to the South Coast before, so it's very exciting. I got to ask you quickly, though, before we do that, Thanksgiving weekend is here, one of my favorite weekends because I love turkey. What's on your menu?
Same. I have turkey, we have meatballs, we have pierogies, we have mashed potatoes, we have the vegetables, the salads, the pumpkin pie, stuffing. We have stuffing as well. We have everything you can imagine. It's going to be amazing, and we're going to have about 22 people in our home tomorrow, so we need a lot of food. So it's going to be perfect. So happy Thanksgiving to you, and enjoy. Thank you, Bo, and enjoy the last bit of your week. Well, politicians from all stripes are praising U.S. President Trump for his role in the peace deal. CTV's Joy Malbin has the reaction.
You did it! Wow. You did it! Yeah.
This was the moment the U.S. president broke the news to the families of the Israeli hostages.
The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
President Donald Trump, through sheer force of will and the might of the United States behind him, has pushed for this.
We reached a momentous breakthrough in the Middle East, something that people said was never going to be done.
Trump leaned on Israel's prime minister, even getting Benjamin Netanyahu to personally apologize to Qatar for Israel's bombing of Doha last month, and pressing Netanyahu to accept his peace plan.
There's a lot of work by the Trump administration to provide pressure and leverage off every stakeholder that had any play in the Middle East, whether it was, Qatar, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt.
Marshalling support from Arab states at the United Nations using hard power and personal relationships, Hamas had few cards left to play. Praised by world leaders, sticking points like Hamas giving up its guns and Palestinian statehood will have to wait. The U.S. president more than optimistic.
I made 7 deals, and now it's solved the wars.
And not shy about his desire to finally win the Nobel Peace Prize.
I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives.
The president will head to the Middle East in the coming days for a signing ceremony, and 200 U.S. troops on their way to Israel to monitor the ceasefire.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is savings. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word savings with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. It's Friday, October the 10th. Today, a major project why Manitoba was selected as the site for a new carbon capture facility. Plus, a growing problem. How many measles cases have been reported in Manitoba so far this year? And wildfire heroes, who were the recipients of one of the province's highest honors. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. We are here. The long weekend has finally arrived, and coming up at 7:32 today is World Mental Health Day. So we're going to speak with KidThink. They, of course, help children to deal with their mental health issues. They find ways to support them and also help us find ways as parents to recognize signs that might be a problem with our children. So we're going to have them join us to give us those reminders. And then at 7:52, the long weekend is here, of course, and CAA Manitoba has important reminders if you're driving out or heading out to visit family this weekend. What's it going to be like weather-wise for the long weekend?
Perfect.
Oh.
It's exactly what you could ask for. Maybe even better than, oh, look at that sun rising. Well, not technically yet. 7:42 is when the sun officially begins to rise. But unlike yesterday when we had those heavier clouds, so we never really got to enjoy the day glow the same way. Now we're still 40 minutes away from that sun rising, but that glow along that east horizon, it's looking absolutely stunning. 2 degrees right now with winds out of the west, 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 90%. We're still above the seasonal low of 1 degree. I know it's gotten a little bit cooler, but we're going to make some really impressive gains and surpass those normal daytime highs as well, no matter where you are in the province. And no matter where you are, it's pretty clear there's not much going on here on the satellite image. It's going to stay Beautiful. For the next couple of days, things will change. It's not going to stay spectacular all weekend long. It could get a little bit soggy, so just keep that in mind for your weekend plans. Today, however, yes, plenty of sunshine and even clear conditions than expected overnight. Even Saturday. Saturday is looking gorgeous and clear once again, and still with these well above seasonal temperatures. The change up to come on Saturday will be with the winds. While today's winds will be moderate, tomorrow's winds gusting out of the south will get very strong, and Saturday night and into Sunday, that's when the rain is going to be moving in. So expect things to get a little bit soggy, especially through the latter part of the weekend. And then holiday Monday, that's when the temperatures are going to start to drop off several degrees below seasonal for a couple of days. But then we're rebounding back up to what is normal for this time of year, with 12 being a seasonal high. Rami, thank you for this. What a beautiful job you've done. I love the contrast of the black and white and then the pop of color there. We'd love to see your art. Show us, please, what it is that you're working on. Email pictures of it to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
A massive environmental development has been announced for southwestern Manitoba. Montreal-based company Deep Sky will start building a carbon capture facility in the Pipestone 2 borders area next year. And at full capacity, the company says more than 500,000 tons of CO2 will be removed. Here's CTV's Jeff Keel.
One of the world's largest carbon capture facilities is being planned for southwestern Manitoba.
I really think we have a unique opportunity in the next couple of years here to really put Canada on the map for global carbon removal.
Montreal-based Deep Sky says shovels will hit the ground in early 2026 for the $200 million first phase of the project, which they say will eventually remove 500,000 tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year. The company says this will create 1,000 construction jobs, and hundreds more people will be needed to work at the facility.
We will need a lot of maintenance folks. We will need a lot of operators for the well. We are going to need a lot of operators for the capture facility. And I think Manitoba is really interesting because it actually has a very suitable labor force.
They've narrowed down their choice to 2 sites in the RMs of Pipestone and 2 borders.
It's unbelievable the amount of jobs it's going to create and the economy, what it'll do for the economy.
Deep Sky also has a partnership with the Dakota Grand Tribal Council.
A percentage will go to Deep Sky and a percentage will go to our nations for economic development.
The Premier says the province made changes to legislation so the project would be eligible for federal tax credits.
When we can find an opportunity for people to bring federal investment to Manitoba at the same time that business, a new startup like this, an exciting industry, is bringing money to Manitoba, it seems like a real win for the economy.
Deep Sky says Manitoba was chosen because of the geological makeup of the region and the hydro needed to power the project. Some environmental groups are skeptical of carbon capture, arguing there are better uses for the energy, like electrifying transit.
We would say that it's an unproven, costly, and incredibly energy-intensive approach to emissions reduction.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The Manitoba facility will both capture and store the carbon, which Deep Sky says saves on transportation costs. The number of measles cases continues to rise in Manitoba. New data from the province shows there have been 225 confirmed cases so far this year. 5 of those were in the first 4 days of October. Another 18 cases are listed as probable. Measles is a highly contagious disease that's sometimes fatal. It spreads through exposure to an infected person's mucus or saliva, and droplets can linger in the air for hours. Edmonton police are acting on new information in the search for the remains of a missing First Nation teen.
A number of pieces of information that have come together in the last week that have caused us to focus on this particular spot.
14-year-old Samuel Bird from Paul First Nation was last seen on June 1st in West Edmonton. Police believe he's dead, calling his disappearance criminal. Bird's remains are suspected to be hidden outside of Edmonton. Investigators have now narrowed their search to an area 160 kilometers west of the city at the Carrot Creek Junction. It's a big area to search, and police are asking people to keep an eye open for anything unusual. No arrests have been made in the case. The Quebec government has tabled a new draft constitution.
That's a tool inside the Canadian Federation
to be sure to protect the autonomy of Quebec.
Premier François Legault says the Constitution bill would protect Quebecers' distinct identity and culture. It's intended to defend what Legault's government deems to be the common values of Quebec, including secularism, equality, the right to abortion, and French as an official language. It also states Quebec has no attachment to the monarchy and that the province's lieutenant governor should be called Officer of Quebec. Experts say any province can propose a constitution, but opposition parties say there has been very little public consultation. You can expect to see Manitoba Hydro workers and contractors coming to inspect your gas meters in the coming months. The Crown Utility is conducting an audit of some 90,000 residential and commercial customers over the next 12 to 14 months. Workers will be inspecting natural gas meters and regulators to ensure they're working properly. They'll have identification and may need to enter your home or business, but won't ask you for names, account numbers, or any other personal information. Those on the front lines of this year's historic wildfire fight have been given one of Manitoba's highest honors. At the legislature Thursday afternoon, Premier Wab Kinew awarded the Order of the Buffalo Hunt to members of Manitoba's wildfire service and emergency management personnel. The Premier thanked every firefighter, emergency worker, and volunteer who worked to protect their communities. Among those recognized was a familiar face during the province's many wildfire updates this summer, Christine Stevens, the Assistant Deputy Minister for Manitoba's Emergency Management Organization.
I stand here on behalf of the many hands and hearts that carried Manitoba through this wildfire season. This recognition belongs not to one group or to one person, but to a province that rose together. People and organizations of every kind worked side by side in the face of extraordinary challenge. This was one of our most difficult wildfire seasons in our history.
More than 2 million hectares burned over the season, leading to 2 provincial states of emergency and 59 evacuation orders. Here's a look at what's happening now on Osborne Street. It looks like things are pretty smooth over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you do see problems out on the streets, though, please let us know. Text them to us at 10400.
Mark Carney pushing back against President Trump's protectionism in the auto industry. He told a group of business executives that North America's interwoven supply chain makes U.S. manufacturers more competitive on costs. Ontario's auto industry has been one of the hardest hit by tariffs imposed by Trump. The coalition that has ruled Japan for much of the millennium collapsed following a breakdown in negotiations over a political donation scandal. The Junior Party, Komeito, says the situation with the Liberal Democratic Party is far from recovery. The split comes 2 years after the LDP was accused of hiding about $6 million in slush funds. The yen is trading down, and while markets were already closed, the reaction is expected on Monday. Iconic blue jeans brand Levi Strauss down in Friday's pre-market with warnings tariffs are starting to bite. CFO Harmeet Singh says they have started to feel the impact of tariffs, not just in China, but elsewhere. The company did report that their profitability, as measured by gross margin, improved in the third quarter. However, it's trading down today. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who is live at Silo Mission in the kitchen, in fact. Joseph, it's lots going on behind you there.
There certainly is, Rochelle. Good morning, and of course, happy Friday, Manitoba. Yeah, as Rochelle's mentioned, we've had a great morning so far at Silo Mission. I was just doing some quick counting. In front of me, there's 54 pies here, and that's not including all the ones on the rack just to my left, of course, in preparation for their Thanksgiving meal. These were made by 4 different Hutterite colonies here in Manitoba. Cameraman Scott's showing some delicious homemade blueberry, apple, and Saskatoon pies. Just one of the many courses, of course, that are part of the Thanksgiving meal that's expected to serve up to 600 people, of course, serving Winnipeg's vulnerable population. Coming up throughout the rest of this hour, you're going to see me speak to some of the different volunteers that work here, find out how you can volunteer and spend some of your time here at the organization. We're hoping to have a conversation as well with the interim CEO here at Silo Mission, talking about the organization's current needs. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people here just ahead of the noon hour, of course, for the Thanksgiving meal. We'll be back coming up soon.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Joe. Joseph. And now I want some pie.
Goodness. Pie for breakfast?
Oh, I know.
There's just, I don't know what it is about it.
Ice cream. Oh, so good. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Saskatoon berry pie, too.
Oh,
That's one of my favorites. If rhubarb isn't on the menu, Saskatoon is right up there. Oh, my goodness. And you could tell it was like that perfect homemade pastry, none of that like store-bought. Oh my goodness, I'm so distracted. Okay, get to the weather, Terry. It's going to be beautiful across the province today. It's already looking quite stunning out here with the sun eventually about to rise and the gorgeous colors that we're seeing off to the east where that'll happen. 0 degrees. We have dropped off a couple degrees just this past hour and are now technically below seasonal, but I'm still pretty optimistic about how today will play out. The winds are light throughout of the west, just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 94%. And while I say we're below seasonal, 1 degree would be that normal low temperature. So we're only a degree below it, and we'll end up a few degrees above it. So we'll make up that difference on the other side as we're pushing up into the mid-teens today. Mid to high teens are actually expected across the entire province today with plenty of clear sky and sunshine to enjoy. And then clear conditions overnight, still with all of the sunshine through Saturday and still with these well above seasonal temperatures. In fact, the above seasonal temperatures will take us right into Sunday. The clear conditions will not. By Saturday night, the rain begins. That'll carry us throughout Sunday. So things will be a little bit soggy then and much cooler on Monday. So holiday Monday and into Tuesday, we do get a bit of a cool down.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Well, it's time now for our question of the day. It being Thanksgiving this weekend, we want to know, what are you most thankful for? You can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning, it is 7:16. A group of Manitoba First Nations plans to take the federal government to court, claiming it hasn't seen millions of dollars in promised funding.
And so Canada had promised to pay, but hasn't provided the funding.
The Interlake Reserves Tribal Council says Indigenous Services Canada committed more than $15.5 million this past fiscal year under Jordan's Principle funding. Jordan's Principle is a legal ruling which says First Nations children must receive medical, educational, or other services in a timely manner. But the chiefs in the Interlake area claim they're still waiting for more than $5 million of the promised funding.
So because of these broken promises, we can't deliver the services our families need to survive. We have had to cut services, we've had to cut staff. We have a backlog of over 400 families in need to date. And so we've tried to work cooperatively with Canada, but the situation is urgent.
The council says it's made one last request to Ottawa, and if it doesn't have a response by today, it will file for a judicial review in federal court. CTV News has reached out to Indigenous Services Canada for comment, and we're awaiting a response. A nationwide walkout by Canada Post workers will soon be replaced by rotating strikes.
Oh, solidarity!
The union representing striking postal workers made the announcement yesterday, saying rotating strikes will start tomorrow. The national president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, says the move will allow Canadians to get their mail while they continue to work toward collective agreements. This comes after Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu said the union and Crown Corporation have a responsibility to find a solution. Turning now to the football field, Daniel Mack's varsity team hosted the Beaver Bray Broncos Thursday afternoon. The Broncos blew past Daniel Mack with a winning score of 61-1. Also in high school varsity action, Elmwood won its match 30-13 against Sisler. Murdoch McKay beat out Portage Collegiate 62-26. Churchill won at home against St. John's High School 53-20. St. Paul's beat out River East 45-6, and it was a close one at Springfield Collegiate, with West Kildonan Collegiate winning 7-6. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along the Norwood Bridge. Things have picked up over here, as you can see, but overall still moving quite well. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
A judge has tossed out Drake's defamation lawsuit against Universal Music Group over Kendrick Lamar's track, Not Like Us.
They not like us. They not like us.
Drake had sued Universal Music Group, arguing the label published and promoted the diss track, even though it included false allegations about him. Drake also blamed the song for the attempted break-ins and shooting of a security guard at his house in Toronto. But a judge has now rejected the lawsuit, saying the lyrics were opinion. A spokesperson says Drake will appeal the ruling. The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra has taken their show on the road, sort of. The WSO is bringing its music to audiences in the south end of the city this fall. The WSO calls it Symphony in South Winnipeg. The orchestra will perform at the Des Hôtels Concert Hall at the University of Manitoba Fort Garry campus. It's the Symphony's first solo show in the hall as it tries to connect with audiences beyond the Centennial Concert Hall. Hear works by Beethoven, Rossini, and Barber. Performances take place Friday, November 7th and Saturday, November 8th at 7:30. Tickets for both performances are now on sale at wso.ca. The first batch of performers and presenters for the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony has been announced. Sir Elton John will be taking the stage alongside the likes of Olivia Rodrigo, Doja Cat, 21 Pilots, and Iggy Pop. Inductees this year include Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, and more. The induction ceremony will be streamed live on Disney Plus November 8th. Start the weekend off at 7 with 911 Nashville, and Special Forces World's Toughest Test follows at 8. It's all right here tonight on CTV. All right, let's go to Terry now. We can see you.
She's here. I know.
There you are. Hi.
I got distracted again. Do you know what I was doing? Actually, I was trying to post the picture because I had taken this gorgeous video of the sunrise out there this morning, and then I was trying to get it done as I was standing here, and I just suddenly looked over and was like, oh, I forgot to set my hit in play.
So we will get to see it?
Oh, no, you will. You'll get, eventually the stuff will get posted on my Instagram page. Do you know what? I didn't need to post it on my Instagram page because we could look outside through the Bathfitter Live Eye. How gorgeous is that? Actually, I think my shot was prettier. Anyway, we're looking through the Bathfitter Live Eye now. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Director Kim, she's like, what? Well, you have to check out my Instagram. It hasn't posted yet, the internet, and we'll get it. Anyway, I managed to get my hit in play as well. That's why I just tucked away for a moment. Look where we begin. At the freezing mark. I know that's a little bit below seasonal, but it's going to be so beautiful, so gorgeous today, and it's already so clear. That's what I was busy capturing outside this morning, is that stunning sky. We're seeing similar temperatures throughout the south. We're at 0, just below the freezing mark. There's a couple of places that are in the negative numbers this morning, but many places are a fistful of degrees above the freezing mark. In Kenora, 6 degrees. It looks like you're winning the game for the south. For northern Manitoba, there's even warmer temperatures up into the northeast, 8, 7, 6 degrees all through that northeastern corner. Even Flin Flon coming in at 6 degrees, so a mild start across much of northern Manitoba and a clear start for everybody. The beautiful sunny conditions will be enjoyed throughout the day today. Yes, it'll take its time to warm us up now because we are at the freezing mark. So as kids settle into the classroom, it'll only be around 2 degrees, but the seasonal 12 degrees would be a normal daytime high. And then we'll push up to 16 degrees for later on this afternoon. So enjoy it all. Make sure that you're taking your sunglasses with you. You might need that extra layer this morning, but later on today, probably ditching it. 16, then 18 degrees as we're rolling into the start of the long weekend. And still very mild still on Sunday, but a little bit soggy. The rain begins Saturday night, and that'll continue through Sunday. And then those temperatures will eventually drop off for holiday Monday. Beautiful shot of the fall colors in ahead of that beautiful sunset. What a stunning photo. Thank you, Maureen. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Terry. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is savings. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word savings with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. Time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Nikki, a sweet 6-year-old tabby. Nikki has a gentle nature and is full of charm and personality. Nikki may require a bit of extra care. Next up is Missy. This fantastic 10-year-old feline is a perfect mix of sass and sweetness. Missy enjoys chasing toys, lounging in the sun, and showing off her affectionate side with purrs and headbutts. And meet Luca. This sweet 2-year-old pooch is full of energy and super smart. Luca is looking for a family that is ready for adventure and willing to teach him new tricks. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is there on your screen. Canada's first all-season autonomous shuttle bus will soon hit the roads in Ottawa. The self-driving vehicle is set to start transporting people around the Canada North Tech Park this fall and winter. CTV's Natalie Van Roy has a sneak peek at the service.
This may look like any other regular shuttle, but it's autonomous, meaning there's no driver behind the wheel.
It is a medium-speed electric and autonomous shuttle that is built on a commercialized platform that's been crash tested. So, of course, safety, 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 with all these amazing sensors that make the technology work. Right here in the front, this is a LiDAR, and this is a solid-state LiDAR. So this is one of the devices that helps to create that 3D map.
The shuttle designed by UK-based Origo International. The company spokesperson says it's the first of its kind in Canada. While it doesn't need a driver to operate, someone is still on standby for safety reasons.
It's all about safety here. We have a safety driver on board at all times, and that way they can take over if needed.
City officials launching the Canada North Smart Shuttle on Thursday. It can drive up to 50 kilometers an hour.
It'll be in operation later this month, and it'll be operating Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and until the end of January of 2026. The shuttle is open to all the Canada North members, guests, partners.
The 4.5-kilometer route has 8 stops, including businesses, restaurants, community spaces, and public transit. The federal government helped to fund the project.
We were able to announce the federal government support for this pilot project, which is $1.4 million through Transport Canada's Enhanced Road Safety Transfer Payment Program.
It's really something we can show off to the community, to the country, and to the world, which is very exciting.
Officials say this shuttle went through rigorous testing during all seasons and simulating cyclists, pedestrians, and wildlife. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News, Ottawa.
They're getting ready for their Thanksgiving meal at Silo Mission. Stay with us for more details on what's on the menu. The kitchen's always a busy place at Silo Mission, but today is especially busy because they're getting ready for their Thanksgiving meal. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, as Rochelle mentioned, of course, today's certainly a busy day for their organization. Very pleased to be joined by Margot Ross. She's the Senior Manager of Development here at Silo Mission. Pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you, and good morning.
Yeah. This place is starting to look really lively, Margot. It's not just the Thanksgiving meal prep that goes into today. It's also breakfast here. Talk to us about what some of your team of hardworking volunteers is doing right now.
Well, absolutely. So we provide breakfast 365 days a year. We never close down. The volunteers start in at 7 a.m., beginning with our amazing toast mistresses this morning. So they will come in, get the toaster started up before 7 a.m., and they will toast approximately 35 loaves of bread each morning. As Mary Lou shared, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You can't make good decisions if you haven't had a proper meal. And this is where it's all happening. So a few more volunteers will start arriving as we're chatting, and they'll be grilling breakfast meats and cutting fruit. And Mary Lou's very big on it being a full, well-balanced meal.
When we spoke to Mary Lou, of course, in the 6 o'clock hour, we talked about the Thanksgiving meal preparations. It wouldn't be possible without volunteers stepping up. You wanted to acknowledge just some of their contributions they made for today.
Absolutely. So not only do they do so much of the prep work, but in this case, we were running short of turkeys for this dinner. Some of our volunteers stepped up and anonymously donated funds to ensure that we would have enough turkeys. So these turkeys then are cooked and deboned and prepared, and also, by the way, nothing goes to waste. So although we'll have the beautiful white and dark meat for the Thanksgiving luncheon, All of the bones will go into stocks and soups and gravies, and then the leftovers will go into a turkey stew. Everything is used up here at Silo Mission.
Well, Margot, it all looks and smells delicious. We appreciate having you on our show. We're going to be back at 7:42, speaking with more of Margot's colleagues and so much more here at Silo Mission. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
0 degrees outside right now. That sky is stunning. The winds out of the west, 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity at 94%. I got my video posted. You can compare it to what you just saw out there. I'm just saying. Check out my Instagram. It looks pretty good. This sky, you can see why it's looking so good. It's so clear, so beautiful. Now, sometimes I'll say that the extra clouds make a more dramatic sunrise, but when it's clear like this, there's something really stunning about it too. And we're headed to a beautiful high of 16 degrees with winds staying on the lighter side. I know they were very strong and gusty yesterday, and those winds will be coming back again, so just keep that in mind. In fact, overnight, they're going to start to shift out of the south as we drop down to 16 degrees. But this is still above seasonal. Now, a normal daytime high, that would be 12 degrees. We're getting up to 18 for tomorrow. Things are going to be looking good. Throughout the weekend, in fact, we're going to be seeing these temperatures dropping off. So enjoy them while they last, because through Sunday, above seasonal temperatures. But Saturday night, the rain begins, and that'll carry us through Sunday. Then on Monday, some heavier clouds, and that's when the cooler temperatures settle in. We'll endure them through Tuesday as well, but back up to a seasonal high by the middle of the week.
Taking a look at your gas prices now, the Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.26. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.25. And the lowest price in the city is $1.18. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Today is World Mental Health Day. If your child is struggling with anxiety, ADHD, depression, self-esteem issues, or even learning, there are places to go to get help and support. KidThink Children's Mental Health Center is the place you can turn to for help. And joining us now to tell us more about KidThink is outreach clinician Wendy Magnus. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Well, this is great because it is a big thing that we need to talk about, because parents need to know what are some of the signs that their kids might be in trouble. So before we get to that, let's just talk about KidThink as an organization. What is it that you do there?
We are a family-centered approach, so we work with the children, we work with the parents, we work with the school teams, and we want to empower all of these people so that they have an understanding of coping skills and what they can do together to help the child feel more confident and support the caregivers along the way.
And you have quite a sort of a different group of members that work with you as well. Who works there and what are their skills?
We're all mental health clinicians. We are basically doing the same type of wraparound team approach. So there's some social workers, there's occupational therapists, there's psychologists, and we're assessment-based as well as treatment.
Okay, so if your child is struggling, or you think potentially your child is struggling, what would be signs that would tell you that there is maybe a problem?
Yeah, you need to be aware of, have they changed in terms of like sleep or mood or energy level? And then just, opening the door to that conversation and just saying something like, I'm noticing changes, I care, right?
Yeah.
And then slowly but surely, maybe reaching out to their school, the pediatrician, a mental health professional to seek help now versus waiting until there's a crisis.
Okay, and so often kids just want to be heard, right? They just want to talk.
Totally, yeah, and just be there, hold space with them, and just a very open, clear language, simple language, even bringing in some scripts can be helpful because then children know what to expect.
And is that hard for some parents to have that open dialogue with their children?
No, I think it's there. It's just making it so that we go into that bubble of their quality time. So if your children are playing, meet them halfway and sit down and really try to, play, enjoy, and then sometimes it just starts opening up, right? And kids then start talking.
Okay, and so if your child is talking and is asking for some assistance, some help, what's the first thing you should do?
First thing you should do is listen, right? And sit with them and be supportive, but also normalize it and have them really see that you know what to do, that you can reach out and there's people out there that can help. So like I said, pediatrician, mental health professional, school team.
Okay, and often when the parent realizes their child is in need of help, they can collaborate with the school, they can talk to the school, so there are signs that over there that they're aware of, but also get some help from an organization like KidThink. So what's the first thing that you would do? Would you call KidThink?
Yep, call KidThink. We have an info line, and then they'll organize it so that there's a clinician that's connected to the family, and then we meet and we do an initial assessment. We get to know all the information, and then we start seeing the family as a unit, as a whole.
Some families might be struggling with cost to get their kids the help they need. What does that mean for you at KidThink?
So we assess everybody's, like financial situation, and there's a sliding scale. So it's different cost for everybody. And there's also an FFCC, meaning that we're fully funded for 10 sessions. So it really, we look at all of that, all those factors, and decide. Anything else you want parents to know? I just want them to know that bottom line, if your child is failing, it's not that you're, parenting poorly. It's that we're all human, and the first step is reaching out and knowing that there's support out there and that there's people that can help.
Well, if you want more information, we do have a link on our website as well. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Rochelle. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
You're amazing.
Right now it's 0 degrees and it looks good out there. We'll be back after this with more Your Morning Winnipeg. Stay with us.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, gorgeous start to your Friday morning, Friday of a long weekend. Yeah, it's cool out there this morning at 0 degrees, but when you think that normal lows would be around 1 degree, we're only missing the mark by 1. With winds out of the west, they're on the lighter side today. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 94%. The sun rising almost now. It's 7:42, so 1 minute away from that, and it's already looking gorgeous, clear and bright. And you can see those clear conditions as we take a look right now at the satellite image. Right across the whole province, sun will be shining today and warming us up nicely to above normal temperatures. When you think that around 3-4 degrees would be a normal daytime high in Churchill, you're going to get up to 9 degrees. It will be windier up in the Churchill area. Other places, the winds won't be as intense. And the temperatures, they're climbing well above seasonal. Single digits would be normal for much of the northeast. In fact, even the northwest, single digits would be normal daytime highs. And instead, you're going to be pushing up into those mid to even high teens today. And yes, through southern Manitoba, where 12 degrees would be a normal daytime high. Again, high teens on tap for today with clear conditions, and now that the sun is up, we can say sunny conditions throughout the day today. Staying clear overnight. Tomorrow is going to be another beautiful sunny day, and these temperatures, they're going to carry us into the start of the weekend. So it is a gorgeous and above normal start to your Thanksgiving long weekend. It's not going to stay gorgeous and above seasonal though, and that's because there is going to be some precipitation moving in, probably Saturday night, or I guess in those early morning hours Sunday. And continuing through Sunday, the rain will be a factor. Then it cools down after that. So holiday Monday and even into Tuesday, we've got these below seasonal temperatures. But I mentioned 12 degrees being normal for this time of year. We're rebounding back to seasonal by the middle of the week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who's live in the kitchen at Silo Mission. And we saw there was lots of pies. We saw some turkey. What else do they got?
Lots of food, Rochelle. Yeah, we'll be showing a little bit more, of course, this morning. Very pleased at this time to be joined by Julianne Aitken. She's the interim CEO here at Silo Mission. Pleasure to have you on our show this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down here today.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about a few things for this segment. Of course, we know winter's on the horizon. It's a season we dread living in Manitoba, but we're used to it. Of course, though, you guys have a pop-up event that's going to help people, of course, with warm clothing, things like that. Tell us a little bit about this pop-up event that Siloam's going to be running in a couple weeks' time.
Sure. So what we have is every year, this is our third year doing it, is we know with the lack of affordable housing that we have in the city right now, there are people who are not going to be able to have a safe place to stay overnight. So what we are operating from November 1st to March 31st, so for 6 months, is our drop-in will actually turn into an overnight pop-up space, which means that people can come and go. It's open 7 days a week for the 6 months. And that's where people can come in and stay warm. They can have food, they can have something to drink, they can lie down and sleep if they want, have any of their basic needs met. So it's really important because also there's outreach groups in the city that they're going around and trying to support people who are unhoused. But if the shelters are all full, and there's nowhere to take people. So this is an opportunity, and it's been great for the 3 years that we've ran it. We hope that in the future there's enough housing so we don't need to. But then outreach groups can take people and they can bring them and they can stay warm. And this also, if people have nowhere to go, then they end up staying in bus shelters, people end up in hospital waiting rooms, and we really want to offer something different for folks who are unhoused where we can support them.
Julianne, we talked about volunteering in the last segment with Margot. A question I wanted to ask her, if someone's never had a chance to come here, see all the hardworking volunteers in the kitchen, what would something you'd say to encourage somebody to come spend some time here, or the housewares department, or really anywhere in the organization?
It's true. There's really something for everybody. So if you are a working professional, there's something for you. We have hairdressers, we have doctors, nurse practitioners, we have people who volunteer in the kitchen, we have people who volunteer in clothing and sorting. If you want to volunteer with community, you can. If you want to be a bit more behind the scenes, there's something for you.
Julianne, we appreciate your time on the show. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll be back with Siloam Mission, showcasing the health center here at the space, and of course their houseware center and how you can support this great organization. We'll be back coming up shortly.
Thank you, Joseph. The Liberals have laid out a new industrial strategy to address the downside of tariffs with the goal of saving jobs, creating new ones, and attracting investment. It's a tall order, but one that Minister Joly laid out to a packed audience of business leaders. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports on the plan and the potential pitfalls.
Industry Minister Melanie Joly said the federal government has a vision to bring Canada into a new industrial era. It's a three-pronged strategy: protect tariff sectors, create new jobs, and draw in global investment and talent by building up key Canadian industries.
We know that we can build the best ships, the best planes, the best drones, and have very strong supply chains across the country. We can have researchers, engineers, and welders at work. We will use the power of procurement to create jobs. Because ultimately what I've learned is companies rather have contracts than subsidies from the government.
Detailing how she and Prime Minister Mark Carney plan to make this happen, Joly said Ottawa will leverage the new Buy Canadian edict to source domestic goods such as lumber and steel for future home building and defense contracts. And approving major projects will fuel growth in the critical mineral and energy sectors. Though experts are already cautioning strategies like this can go sideways quickly, and the key challenge will be how it's executed. The minister, tapping into her time as Canada's top diplomat, also said she wants to see Canadian companies become bigger, not only to solidify Canada's sovereignty, but to increase this country's soft power and influence abroad. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Hallie. Love from your grandparents. Happy 10th birthday, Huey. Love from sister Jessica, mom, dad, and grandpa and grandma. Happy 9th birthday, Charlie. Love mom, dad, Ellie, and Grady. Happy 7th birthday, Isla. Love mom, dad, and Milo. And happy 80th birthday to Doreen. Lots of love from your kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids. Happy 7th birthday, Rory. Love from mom, dad, Callum, and George. Happy 56th birthday, Dan. Your friends wish you a great day. Happy 3rd birthday, Paige. Love mommy, daddy, McKenna, and Penny. Happy 60th birthday, Rob, with love from your family and friends. Happy 12th birthday, Noah. Love mom, dad, Haley, Burke, Hayes, and your grandparents. Happy 3rd birthday, Oslo. Big hugs from Grandma Judy and Uncle Jeff. Happy 8th birthday, Hayden, with love from dad, mom, and all your family. And a happy 54th anniversary to Murray and Karen from your family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
A little cruise through our almanac. 16 degrees is what we're expecting for our high temperature today, and if we reach that, that'll put us above seasonal. 12 degrees, a normal daytime high. Now last year we did a lot better than 16. We got up to 20 degrees, but it was all the way back in 1934 that we hit that record of 27.8 degrees. Talk about a warm Thanksgiving that would have been. Actually, do you know what? Our producer Tim reminded me that yesterday was that remember the epic Thanksgiving blizzard? That was the anniversary of it yesterday. So thankfully, we're not dealing with any kind of epic blizzards as we're rolling into this Thanksgiving. No record-breaking temperatures either, but we are going to see above seasonal temps to kick off the long weekend. 0 degrees right now. The sun is up. It's shining. It's looking good out here. We've got winds out of the west, 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 94%. Sunshine will last for another couple of days, and these above seasonal temperatures will carry us right through till about Sunday. Beautiful conditions for today come with the light winds, and that will be a change up for tomorrow. Those temperatures will still be good, conditions still looking good with the sunshine, but some much stronger winds Saturday. That's ahead of the rain that's going to be moving into those early morning hours and carrying us through Sunday. And then on the other side of that, adios to these beautiful temperatures, is going to be a cool end to the long weekend.
Thank you, Terry. The Thanksgiving long weekend is here, and it's typically a busy time on the highways as many travel to visit family and friends. Traffic safety experts say it's also when the chances of collisions or roadside breakdowns go up. Joining us now from CAA Manitoba is Nadia Matos. Good morning, Nadia.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, the roads will be busy this long weekend, won't they?
They will. I think a lot of people are excited to see their loved ones over Thanksgiving. I know I am. And so it'll be a joyous occasion, but that doesn't mean that we leave safety at home.
Right. So what are some of the more common causes of crashes and collisions, especially during long weekends?
Well, what I can tell you is that getting prepared for the long weekend, getting prepared for the drive is really, really important. I think, an ounce of prevention at the very beginning is worth a pound of cure. So making sure that your vehicle is in good working condition and up to speed with the maintenance that it needs according to the manufacturer is really going to be helping you to avoid those breakdowns on the side of the road. So that includes things like tire pressure, making sure that your battery is going to make it up to wherever you're traveling, that you have a full lighting system, that it all works. Things like that are very important, and making sure that you have an emergency kit as well.
Now, people might be in a hurry to get out, though, as well, and speeding is often what could lead to some collisions or even getting stuck on the side of the road. Is that right?
Well, it all comes down to driver behavior. So whether you're driving distracted or whether you're speeding, it really is important that you drive according to the weather conditions. Since we're dealing with really nice weather and sunny skies for the next foreseeable time, it really is just about slowing down and remembering that you're sharing the road with other people as well.
And what if you do get stuck on the side of the road? What advice do you have for drivers to be safe when they're stuck there?
Sure. The most important thing that you can do is to make sure that you're highly visible. So if you have any kind of safety cones out there, just making your vehicle as visible as possible. Try to gather your surroundings and figure out where you are. And if at any time you feel unsafe, it's important just to call 911 and to let them know where you're at, but also ensuring that you have your CAA membership or any kind of other roadside provider membership. Being able to tell them where you are and so that they can get to you. And most importantly, stay in your vehicle. It's probably the safest place for you.
Okay, let's remind people what should be in an emergency kit.
Well, you have your summer emergency kits and you have your winter emergency kits. It's about the time we should start transitioning into a winter kit, even though the weather is really nice outside. A winter emergency kit will have things like jumper cables. It'll have things to keep you warm, like matches, some candles in theirs. But it's also important to bring some water, some non-perishable food items, and don't forget your phone charger. So many times you go outside of the house and your phone is half charged and you think that you'll be able to plug into your phone into the modern, systems and be able to charge your phone as you go. But if your battery's not working and you need to use your phone, that may cause some problems.
Any other reminders for drivers this weekend?
Well, we're going to be driving long distances, short distances. If you are driving long distances, make sure to plan out your route, download that GPS map offline just in case you get into no cell reception. Make sure that your gas tank doesn't fall below half, and take lots of breaks, 15 minutes every 2 hours.
And if you're in trouble and you have a CAA card, just give them a call. Is that right?
Absolutely. We'll give us a call and we'll get to you as soon as we can.
Well, thank you for this, Nadia. We appreciate your time. And if you do want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Nadia. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for this one, we are taking a trip to L.A. It is the Phillies and Dodgers. Game 4. We're going bottom 11, tied at 1. Bases loaded when Andy Pajes sends one right to the pitcher. And that is bobbled by Orion Kerkering. Throws it home off target. So the Dodgers walk off their way to the NLCS on a blunder. The catcher, JT Realmuto, he's telling Kerkering, go to first. Likely would have gotten the out. Instead, he goes home. And that's all she wrote for the Phillies. My goodness, what a way to end your season. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got some CFL action for you. It is the Argos taking on the Riders. Coverage of that game begins at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a fantastic weekend.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
And now to the much-anticipated Winnipeg Jets home opener. It was a tough start for the Jets as they hosted the Dallas Stars. That goal from the Bear helped re-energize the Jets in the third after the Stars held on to a 4-goal lead. Despite the Jets turning up the heat, Stars won 5-4. The Jets are staying in Winnipeg for their next matchup. They host the Los Angeles Kings Saturday at 12:30 p.m. It's Friday, October the 10th. Today, carbon capture coming. A massive clean tech project breaks ground in Manitoba's southwest, promising jobs and a greener future. Plus, Israel pullback. Troops are moving out of Gaza, but is this really the first step toward peace? And Jets home opener, a close loss, but plenty of lift as Winnipeg's season takes off. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thanksgiving, a long weekend. Yeah. We are almost there. Of course, we have a lot in the next hour for you, including at 8:15, we're going to hear about the Ice Crystal Gala. It's for the Children's Hospital Foundation. Of course, they support thousands of kids in our province. And so we're going to talk about the gala itself. Apparently, it's a good time for the whole family. And it's like a dress and costume. You have so much fun. We're going to find out more about the event. But the weather is going to be fantastic this weekend.
So into the start of the long weekend. Okay. Maybe not the whole weekend, but take each day as it comes and certainly enjoy it. Here's a look outside. It's 0 degrees. The sun is shining. Gorgeous way to kick off your Friday morning. We've got a bit of a breeze, but just a bit of one. It's out of the west at 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 94%. Now, everybody gets to enjoy the sunshine today as we're rolling on into the start of the long weekend. And this is a nice change up because I know parts of northern Manitoba over the past couple of days, we've been enjoying the sunshine here through central or southern Manitoba, but that hasn't been the case up north. Well, Here's a look at today. Gorgeous, no matter where you are. And with that sunshine comes the warmth, more so than you would expect this time of year. And the clear conditions will last not just through the day today, overnight and throughout Saturday. It's still looking gorgeous, clear and bright with plenty of sunshine and plenty of warmth as we're rolling into the weekend. Then things start to change. Saturday night, the rain begins, or probably in those early morning hours Sunday. So here's a look Sunday morning, and we've already had it roll over us at like around 1, 2 a.m., and it'll be lingering along that eastern border by about 7 a.m. We still could see some more scattered precipitation throughout Sunday, and certainly some heavier clouds. But we're also still going to have above seasonal temperatures expected for one more day on Sunday, even though we lack in sunshine and we'll get a little soggy. The cool down will actually come as we're wrapping up the long weekend. So holiday Monday and into Tuesday, below seasonal temperatures, but then we're back up to what is normal for this time of year, 12 degrees, a seasonal daytime high. Rami, I love what you've done here. The contrast with the black and white and the beautiful fall colors. You're an incredible artist. We thank you for sharing your work with us. We'd love to see whatever it is that you're working on, so share your art to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
A major environmental project is coming to southwestern Manitoba. Montreal-based Deep Sky plans to start building a carbon capture facility in the Pipestone Two Borders area next year. At full capacity, the company says it will remove more than 500,000 tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere while adding jobs to the area.
We will need a lot of maintenance folks. We will need a lot of operators for the well. We are going to need a lot of operators for the capture facility. And I think Manitoba is really interesting because it actually has a very suitable labor force.
Deep Sky says shovels will hit the ground in early 2026 for the $200 million first phase of what could become one of the world's largest carbon capture projects. The company expects about 1,000 construction jobs and hundreds of long-term positions once it's running. It's narrowed site options to 2 in the RMs of Pipestone and Two Borders, and has partnered with the Dakota Grand Tribal Council, which says the deal will support local economic growth. Premier Rob Canoe says the province changed legislation so the project qualifies for federal tax credits.
When we can find an opportunity for people to bring federal investment to Manitoba at the same time that business, a new startup like this, an exciting industry, is bringing money to Manitoba, it seems like a real win for the economy.
Deep Sky says Manitoba was chosen for its geology and hydropower. Some environmental groups remain skeptical, arguing that energy could be better used to electrify urban transit. The facility will both capture and store carbon on site, something Deep Sky says will cut transportation costs. Israel's military has started its pullback in Gaza, opening the way for Palestinians to head back to the northern parts of the territory. Here's a live look at central Gaza. Palestinians are streaming back to the homes they abandoned, about to learn what's left of them. Earlier this morning, Israel's troops pulled back to a green line set by a deal to stop fighting in Gaza and return hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says troops will stay in Gaza to keep pressure on Hamas to disarm. The military pullback also starts the clock on Hamas, which now has 72 hours to release the hostages. This morning, Israel has also released the names of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners set to be released. Now to the much anticipated Winnipeg Jets home opener. It was a tough start for the Jets as they hosted the Dallas Stars.
And Morgan Barron's going to get ahead of steam. Barron trying to get it to the net. Morgan Barron scores!
That goal from the Bear helped re-energize the Jets in the third after the Stars held on to a 4-goal lead. Despite the Jets turning up the heat, Stars won 5-4. The Jets are staying in Winnipeg for the next matchup. They host the Los Angeles Kings Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems out on the streets, though, please let us know. Text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
All right, let's go back now to Joseph Bernacki, who is at Silo Mission this morning. Their Thanksgiving meal is today. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, always a pleasure spending time at Silo Mission. At this time, I'm very pleased to be joined by Kristen Kennedy. She is the interim manager of transition services here, and we're standing in the housewares department. Pleasure to have you on our show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, so for folks who haven't seen this space before within the organization, kind of paint us a picture. Tell us about this space.
Yeah, so this space is called Amiko Gabayagan, so it translates to Beaver Dam in Ojibwe. And the idea is that people would come in and gather the items that they need for their home and then go out and build their home, just much like a beaver. So we collect all sorts of housewares here for people to set up their new homes.
And who would use this space of people that access need help from Silo Mission?
Yeah, so we work really hard to house folks at Silo Mission. So a lot of people think of the basic needs, right, like meals, shelters, but we work to house people and then also to set up housing for them so that they have a place that feels like a home. So we're looking for mattresses, we're looking for all sorts of pots and pans and dishes and everything that you could imagine for a home.
And, you know, cameraman Scott's been showing a little bit of everything from mattresses to the bedding. You mentioned a couple of those. What are some of those items that the organization is in current need of, especially ahead of the coming winter?
Yeah, always pots, pans. We have a good supply of blankets right now, but we're short on pillows. We have folks moving out for the 15th of the month and then again on the 1st. So, of course, all of your bedding, cleaning supplies, really important. We're also looking for things like DVD players, landline phones for people to use their buzzers for their apartments, dishes, of course, all of that. So we would be so appreciative for anything.
When we talk about transitional housing, Kristen, why is it important that we have services like this?
I think because, you know, a lot of times folks who are on EIA, they're really low income, right? So we're working with about $250 a month for everything. That's for your groceries, for your hygiene items, for clothes, for laundry, for everything. And so a lot of these items would be out of reach, and we really want people to feel like they're moving into a home.
And people can volunteer here within this space at Siloam as well.
Yes, absolutely. You can contact volunteer services. We have lots of donations to go through, and we kind of try to put out the best and brightest for folks to choose from. But we would love for you to come volunteer with us.
Kristen, we appreciate your time on the show, of course. We're going to be back one more time at 8:38 with Silo Mission, checking out the health center here, of course, another place you can volunteer and spend some time ahead of the Thanksgiving long weekend. We'll be back shortly.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. There are new developments in the Alberta teacher strike. Bargaining will resume on Tuesday between teachers and the province. CTV's Tyson Fedor has the details.
Teachers, students, and supporters were out in full force across Calgary Thursday, protesting for caps on classroom sizes, more help in the classroom, and higher wages.
We're meant to say for a week or two now that the ATA leadership doesn't understand what the teachers are looking for. And teachers have created the initial proposal where a lot of these ideas have come from a year or so ago. Things like student-teacher ratios, salary ask, class sizes, you know, health and benefits, and things that you would normally bargain. So we're aware of what teachers are looking for. We're moving forward.
Bargaining talks will resume next week, and the Alberta Teachers Union is hopeful to hammer out a deal. The ATA pointed to an OECD study that showed Alberta teachers are the most stressed in the world. 42% say they undergo a lot in their work.
So we'll just have to see what government is willing to do to address the current concerns that teachers and students and parents have been raising.
High school student athletes gathered near Shoalice Park late Thursday afternoon to voice their displeasure of being away from the field and show support for their educators.
Nothing moves without their support. They put in countless hours for us, and it's like the second we lose them, we lose everything. So we need them. They do so much for us.
For Sir Winston Churchill grade 12 high school student Tyson Carroll, he says it's personal.
All my sports, I should be in probably my best shape of my 3 years, and it's they're taking it away from me. So it sucks because I want to be there for my teachers. I want to support them.
The province says in a statement that the ATA finally responded to the invite to get back to the bargaining table and is hopeful the proposal will be reasonable, fair, and adequate, representing the terms teachers want to see.
Hard to say what timelines would be, but I know that we would be looking at ways to expedite that on our end.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
A look now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. How stunning is that this morning? And it's going to last for a couple of days. We've got today and tomorrow nothing but sunshine and really nice temperatures across the entire province. I say that and we're struggling to get back to seasonal. We made it now, 1 degree. That's a normal low temperature. And that's where we're sitting right now after having dropped to the freezing mark last hour. Still below freezing, we've got Brandon and Roblin coming in a couple degrees degrees or 1 degree below the freezing mark. Otherwise, some pretty mild temperatures to kick us off this morning, and that includes northern Manitoba. Talk about mild temperatures for you. Everybody is at least a couple degrees above the freezing mark, and right up to 7 degrees here in this northeastern part of the province, with sunny conditions expected to not just kick off the weekend, we'll have it into Saturday as well. So today, tomorrow, really nothing going on the satellite image because it is so very clear. As we're sending kids off to school today, it's still going to be pleasant. 2 degrees, so a little bit cool. They'll want that extra layer on this morning. By lunchtime, we're getting up to 12 degrees. That would be a normal daytime high, but wait, there's more. Up to 16 degrees. That's what we can expect by the time kids are coming home from school today. And speaking of wait, there's more. Tomorrow we could be even a couple degrees warmer, but wait, there's more. The winds will be a lot stronger for tomorrow. So up to 60 winds gusting out of the south, and then still with the mild temperatures into Sunday, but the soggy conditions. In fact, the rain will probably begin Saturday night and continue throughout Sunday. And then as we're wrapping up the long weekend, temperatures will be dropping off only for a couple of days. And then by about the middle of next week, we're getting back up to what is normal for this time of year. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back. Wait, there's more. We got Your Morning Winnipeg after this.
Good morning. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is savings. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word savings with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Tune in Tuesday for another code word. Good luck.
Prime Minister Mark Carney pushing back against President Trump's protectionism in the auto industry. He told a group of business executives that North America's interwoven supply chain makes U.S. manufacturers more competitive on costs. Ontario's auto industry has been one of the hardest hit by tariffs imposed by Trump. The coalition that has ruled Japan for much of the millennium collapsed following a breakdown in negotiations over a political donation scandal. The Junior Party, Komeito, says the situation with the Liberal Democratic Party is far from recovery. The split comes 2 years after the LDP was accused of hiding about $6 million in slush funds. The yen is trading down, and while markets were already closed, the reaction is expected on Monday. Iconic blue jeans brand Levi Strauss down in Friday's pre-market with warnings tariffs are starting to bite. CFO Harmeet Singh says they have started to feel the impact of tariffs, not just in China, but elsewhere. The company did report that their profitability, as measured by gross margin, improved in the third quarter. However, it's trading down today. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
140,000 kids rely on the HSC Children's Hospital every year, and fundraising is key to ensuring more children can get the treatment and care they need. The Ice Crystal Gala is a huge fundraiser that helps support those kids. Last year, $1.5 million was raised to buy life-saving equipment and support of other programs. And this year's gala is just around the corner. Joining us now from the Ice Crystal Gala Committee is Shima Cyrus. Good morning, Shima.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, this is quite a party. The Ice Crystal Gala last year, I remember the theme. It was a lot of glitz and glam, right? What was it last year?
Last year was a cowboy theme.
Okay, but glitzy cowboy.
Yes, glitzy cowboy.
So paint a picture for me. Describe what it was like when, because it's a party for the whole family. Kids are welcome. It's a different kind of gala. Tell us what it looks like, what it sounds like, what it smells like, all of it.
This is the only gala in our city that is actually kids and families are all welcome.
Okay.
So this is the only gala that the kids will have so much fun. There is a lot of bouncy castles, a lot of different fun family activities that the kids will have and enjoy. This year's gala will be island vibe.
Okay.
So we will have a lot of different, we take our guests to the island vibes, to the paradise, to experience the tropical islands, and we're having island dancers, we're having steel drums, and all those fun activities for the family and friends.
The best part, I mean, other than having a blast and enjoying the outfits and, you know, that whole theme, it must be the laughter and the smile on the kids' faces. Describe to me what that's like.
It's so fun to see. All the kids are waiting for this curtain to go aside and to just run into the activity center and have so much fun. They can do a lot of craft things.
Okay.
They do a lot of fun. The sound and laughter is up. They're dancing with their grandparents and their families on the dance floor. It's a very, very fun event.
It sounds amazing. Okay, last year you guys raised $1.5 million. That's the biggest ever. What was that sensation like, and where does that money go?
The money last year that we raised went towards buying a lot of life-saving surgical equipment for the kids. This year event, we're actually raising money to renovate the Children's Hospital's ward CK5, where the most vulnerable kids will stay in those rooms, especially cancer patients.
Okay.
And so it is not just a fun event, it's actually for a very, very good cause.
And you have some extra tables available this year. Tell us about that.
Yes, this is a gala that will be sold out every single year.
Yeah.
And this year, just if you're watching this, you're the lucky person that can actually, we opened up some few more tables just for you. So please visit goodbear.ca/Ice Crystal Gala today to buy your last minute tickets. And by the end of day today, if the tickets are sold out,
you're out of luck.
We're out of luck.
Yeah, and it's such an important cause. You're supporting children in this province, which of course, when a child gets sick, every parent wants to be able to go to the hospital and know they get the best care.
Yes, exactly. So you can make difference at this gala, and you can help kids in need and a more relaxing time for the parents while they're dealing with the most stressful time of their life.
Absolutely. And if you want more information, we do have a link on our website. And this is happening when? What's the date?
The date is Saturday, October 18th, so you only have one more week and till the end of day today to purchase your tickets.
So if you want more details on the Ice Crystal Gala, check out our website for more details. Thank you so much, Shima.
Thank you.
But you don't have to wait a whole week for the weekend. It is finally here. Thanksgiving, we get the extra day, a nice long weekend ahead, and beautiful conditions for it. 1 degree right now with the sun shining over us, and very light winds out of the west right now. They're just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 97%. The blue sky, the sunshine, everybody gets to enjoy that. And the above seasonal temperatures, yeah, everybody gets to enjoy those too, as we're pushing up into the mid to high teens today, when for northern Manitoba, single digits would be seasonal, and here in the south, 12 degrees would be that normal daytime high, and we're likely to be there by midday today, just pushing even higher into the afternoon. Tomorrow, more of the same as far as the sunshine and the warmth goes. But while today the winds will stay on the lighter side, they're going to get pretty strong and gusty throughout Saturday. Up to 60 winds, in fact, gusting out of the south for Saturday, and that's right ahead of some storms that'll be moving in Saturday night and continue through Sunday. We've still got the mild and above seasonal temperatures to last throughout Sunday itself, but on the other side of that system, which could bring some significant rain, that's when we're going to see the temperatures dropping off. So we're not going to make it through the entire long weekend before the mercury drops off. Holiday Monday and then into the start of next week, it will be a little bit cool and below seasonal, but by the middle of the week, we're back up to what you would expect for this time of year. And what a stunning shot taken with those fall leaves and the sun setting in the background. Thanks to Maureen for this. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
The long weekend coming up. We're checking in with Rachel Node. She's the host with the most. Rachel, you always do such incredible things around the holidays, regardless of what that holiday is. So let's talk about what you're going to be doing to get ready for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I'm actually getting ready for a Friendsgiving. And I'm always looking for kitchen gadgets that will up my Friendsgiving game. And I think I found one, Terry, that you and your buds will fall for too. This is the Ninja Slushie, and it serves up delicious frozen bevies for your besties in advance. It has an 88-ounce capacity, so this is great for making, big batches of drinks for groups. But I think it's a fun way to put a new twist on your fall favorites. For instance, if you're serving appetizers, why not not serve an apple cider slushie with it? Ooh. Or if maybe for your Friendsgiving, you're doing a brunch instead, you can make a delicious pumpkin spice frappe slushie in this machine. Of course, you can add alcohol to any of these drinks. But if you want to keep it family friendly, you can do that as well. What I really love about this machine is that it makes frozen drinks, but you don't need ice. It has a rapid chill technology. Yeah. That freezes liquid evenly for smooth and flavorful results. It's super easy to use. There's 5 preset buttons, so you can choose the texture and thickness of the drink, whether you want it light and sippable, or maybe you want it thick and spoon-worthy. And if you're stuck on recipes, sharkninja.ca has a lot to choose from.
That is so cool, because there's always the one thing that you forget on your list, and it's always ice. So I love that you can make these drinks without it. Excellent. What else are you sharing with us today, Rachel?
Well, true story. When I'm in the kitchen and I have lots of pots and pans on the go, I sometimes need help stirring to make sure nothing goes awry or burns. Also, true story. I hate it when people are in the kitchen trying to help me to make sure that nothing goes awry or burns. But this Friendsgiving, I found a stress-free solution, and it is this automatic stirrer from Levi. It is so cool. It keeps everything in motion, so you can go greet your guests at the door. Maybe you can concentrate on other aspects of the meal. The legs are designed to sweep the bottom of the pot or the pan. It keeps the stirrer in motion. And what it does is it lifts the contents and makes sure that nothing settles or burns. There's 3 different preset settings that you can choose from, depending on the thickness of what you're stirring. And at the end of the night, these legs are heat resistant and dishwasher safe, which is great for easy cleanup. And you can grab it at Lee Valley or at leevalley.com.
It's brilliant. I also don't like help in the kitchen, but sometimes you need that extra hand. So what a great way to get around that. All right, we don't want to run out of time. What's the last thing you're sharing with us today?
Friendsgiving is often done potluck style, which is great. So if you want to, trick your friends to thinking you're a gourmand and you want to bring like the winner chicken dinner this Friendsgiving, check out these products from Ricardo. They have a gourmet line of products that will, make your Friendsgiving elevated. Yeah, exactly. You said it. It's great because with these products, you're not spending all the time meal prepping. So you can spend more time around the kitchen table, sharing memories without sacrificing taste. There's a delicious chicken hunters. There's also like the peanut chicken. And of course, who can resist a raspberry chocolate cheesecake? And you can shop these just at your local Safeway, Terry.
That sounds amazing. Chocolate cheesecake with raspberry. Oh my goodness. I am right there. I mean, the extra dishes too, but dessert, that's where you got me for sure. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us today, and happy Friendsgiving to you.
Thank you, Terry.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
All right, it is 1 degree outside and plenty of sunshine to kick off your Friday. Winds are light out of the west, just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 97%. It is gorgeous, it is clear, it is beautiful and bright, and everybody gets to enjoy these stunning conditions this morning. There's nothing to show you here on the satellite image just because it's going to be such a beautiful day. 16 degrees is where we're headed today. Similar temperatures throughout the province, because even northern Manitoba is likely to be getting up at least into the low teens, but many places will be in those mid to high teens. And winds on the lighter side, at least here in the south. I know up around the Churchill area, the winds will be a little bit stronger today. Overnight, those winds will be shifting. It'll be a west wind through the day, and then a northwest wind, and then a south wind overnight as we drop down to 6 degrees, still with the very clear conditions. So that sets us up for more sunshine again tomorrow. 18 degrees, so even warmer than today, but windier than today. These winds, they'll be out of the south at times gusting to 60 kilometers per hour. Then Sunday, still warm, but a little bit soggy. The rain will likely begin Saturday night and continue through Sunday. And then the temperatures dropping off for Thanksgiving before they rebound again. I just want to say on Thanksgiving, here's my tip. I just gave it to Director Kim. Put gravy on your pierogies. If you boil your pierogies, put gravy on them. You will thank me. I know everybody thinks they need the sour cream. Try some gravy on your boiled pierogies. You're welcome.
Thank you, Terry. A nationwide walkout by Canada Post workers will soon be replaced by rotating strikes. The union representing striking postal workers made the announcement yesterday, saying rotating strikes will start tomorrow. The national president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, says the move will allow Canadians to get their mail while they continue to work toward collective agreements. This comes after Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu said the union and Crown Corporation have a responsibility to find a solution. 2 construction workers in downtown Winnipeg narrowly escaped a knife attack. It happened Tuesday afternoon at a construction site in the 200 block of Portage Avenue. Police say a man pulled out a knife and began chasing 2 workers. The men were able to escape to a nearby building, though one worker had his jacket slashed. About 20 minutes later, officers found and arrested the suspect on Balmoral Street. A knife was seized at the time of his arrest. The man is now facing assault and weapons-related charges and is in custody. Hockey fans have a unique opportunity to see some of the NHL's most coveted trophies.
The trophies are always on display at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Obviously, not everybody can make it to Toronto, so I think it's important that the teams share the awards and the trophies that their team has won with the fans.
The Jets won the President's Trophy last season as the team clinched first place in the regular season standings. Goalie Connor Hellebuck won 3 NHL trophies, including the Vezina for the best goalie in the league, the William Jennings for allowing the fewest goals, and the Hart Trophy for the league's most valuable player.
Not a lot of goalies that are on the trophy, so as a goaltender to win it as well, that speaks highly. You know, Carey Price, Jacques Plante, there's very, very few goaltenders that have won it, so Winnipeg should be very excited and thrilled to have him as part of their team.
Well, we are, and they'll remain on display at Canada Life Centre for the Jets' Saturday matinee game against the Los Angeles Kings. Restaurants in British Columbia say they're on the verge of running out of liquor as the strike by the province's General Workers Union shuts down government-run stores.
Getting critical, where we're getting members saying, look, we're literally days away from not being able to sell any liquor, and without liquor on our menu, we're not a viable operation.
With restaurants legally required to purchase alcohol from government channels, owners are urging the government and union to strike a deal before supplies run out. BC's General Employees Union expanded picket lines Wednesday, closing every liquor and cannabis store in the province as the strike enters its 6th week. You're probably already well along planning and purchasing components and ingredients for this year's Thanksgiving dinner. As CTV's Leah LaRocque reports, at a time when everything seems to be getting more expensive, the price of one major item on the menu is actually going down.
It's like a Bible, so I started last week.
It takes a lot of planning for Francine Dion to cook that perfect Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, I wanted a certain weight.
Grateful that this year the cost of the meal didn't run foul. She isn't alone. A new study found the price of a traditional turkey dinner for a family of 4 only went up less than 1% by about 18 cents. But that butterball costs about the same or is slightly cheaper.
It's the largest one they had. So it's 21 pounds for $64. Feeds a lot of people. I think it's reasonable.
I always buy the butterball. And so I did notice that there's perhaps about $15 cheaper this year.
But the downside is that it's the sides that are stuffing consumers' wallets, such as cranberries and gravy.
If you're accustomed to buying anything in a can, this year you will be paying more due to tariffs. So if you want to save money, make your own gravy, make your own cranberries at home.
I'm not really in favor of the reciprocal tariff on certain things. The cost of coffee has really gone up.
Many still opting to include less expensive options, like ham.
It's for Thanksgiving, yeah. I wouldn't buy a big ham like that just for us.
Or looking for savings wherever they can.
I know the price of all my food. If it's not on sale, I don't buy it.
As for Dion, the yearly tradition is less about the food and more about those at the dinner table.
We're doing Thanksgiving, Christmas, all those celebrations, we do them at the cottage. So when the kids come, it's for 3 days.
Leah LaRocque, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now on Donald Street. looks good here, but we do have a crash to tell you about on the St. Vital Bridge. Northbound is blocking the curb lane, so keep left and expect delays there today. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.33. The provincial average is lower at $1.26. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.25, and the lowest price in the city is $1.18. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
And it's time now to explore some of your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know what you are most thankful for this Thanksgiving. Marlene says she is thankful for life and family and wishes everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Marlene. Auntie Nina tells us she's thankful for the gift of life and for her dialysis team at Seven Oaks Hospital, her home care workers, and her family and friends who have been with her all along the way. Jackie says she's thankful for family and friends and for her health. Finally, Bill echoes that sentiment. He's grateful for his family and friends. Thank you for all of your responses. Let's go now to Joseph Bernacki, who's live this morning at Silo Mission. We're thankful this morning for all the volunteers helping to make Thanksgiving happen there. Joseph, good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, it's been a great morning here at Silo Mission. Lots of volunteers in a number of different departments, not just the kitchen department. I'm very pleased to be joined by Dr. Heather Watson. She's a volunteer here at the Salsair Health Clinic. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
It's my pleasure to be here.
For people who haven't seen the clinic here before, talk to us about why this is such an important resource for people that access Silo Mission.
So inside the shelter space, we have this extensive clinic. It's like this little jewel that I think people don't always even know is here. We have like a full clinic. We have, foot specialists. There's a dentistry suite. There's a chiropractor, and I'm an OBGYN, so I provide women's health care. And there's this full spectrum of care for folks tucked away in a space that they don't have to go trekking out in the cold to go find. They don't have to necessarily have their health card. One of the things that folks often are challenged by when they are living with unstable housing is they don't have their own ID, but that's not a barrier to care here. And sometimes people have had difficult experiences with healthcare in the past, and that can make going to a hospital or a traditional clinic feel intimidating. This is a really welcoming space, and it just decreases those barriers to care.
And doctor, you were telling us a little bit before you were live, you work at HSC. What led you to volunteer and come to work for this clinic?
Well, I have a subspecialized practice where I look after folks that have what are called psychosocial complexities. So either their mental health or their social well-being have things that are unstable during the time of their pregnancy. And I know that can create some barriers to care, and a lot of my patients live with unstable housing, and so sometimes it's hard for them to come to me, and I wanted an opportunity to come to them. And so I called up Siloam and I said, is there room here for an OBGYN? And they said yes, and they keep saying yes, and it's a great place to work.
I imagine it's been pretty fulfilling over the last year. You told me that you've been doing this.
It's been a really great experience, partly because it's important, necessary work. I am excited to get out of bed to come here, but also because the people that are working here really want to work here. And there's something really contagious about that kind of enthusiasm and people having passion for their work.
Plus, you have a beautiful mural to look at every time you walk through these doors.
I do, but also a lot of smiling faces. So it's a good view all the way around.
Dr. Watson, it's been a pleasure to have you on our show. And of course, there's so many different volunteering opportunities here at Siloam Mission in a lot of different departments. We're going to have more information, of course, on a link on our website, and from all of us at CTV Your Morning Winnipeg, have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, Joseph. Thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop now.
Now, a few minutes ago, I was sharing how I like to put gravy on boiled pierogies and that it's a game changer. Do you have any tips like that, like unconventional ways of eating food that,
I always put ground Italian sausage in my stuffing, and it's a hit. It's delicious.
Director Kim is giving a thumbs up to that. Lucky you, I got a thumbs down to the gravy, but no knock it till you try it, Kim. Ground, okay, that's something interesting, yeah. Also, when you're eating your turkey leftover sandwiches, like the hot turkey leftover sandwich, throw some cranberry in there. You'll be glad you did. Oh, I love Thanksgiving. Anyway, here we are, Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm loving the temperatures that we have rolling into this too. How pleasant of a weekend we have to kick things off, maybe not to last the whole way through. 1 degree right now with the sun shining over us and west winds on the lighter side, just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 97%. We will get to enjoy the sunshine and the above seasonal temperatures for today and tomorrow. And the above seasonal temperatures will actually last into Sunday, but the sunshine probably will not. Saturday night, some rain is going to move in, and that'll continue throughout Sunday. But like I said, it's still mild with the temps. Oh, I should mention that tomorrow's going to get windy, like really windy. South winds up to 60 kilometers per hour. So that's for Saturday. Today is just going to be perfect. Saturday is going to be sunny and warm and windy, and then Sunday is going to be warm and soggy, and then Monday is actually going to be cold. We're wrapping up the long weekend with below seasonal temperatures. That's how we'll kick off next week on Tuesday as well. Eventually getting back to those more seasonal temps, but it'll take till about the middle of the week to see that happen. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. You can expect to see Manitoba Hydro workers and contractors coming to inspect your gas meters in the coming months. The Crown Utility is conducting an audit of some 90,000 residential and commercial customers over the next 12 to 14 months. Workers will be inspecting natural gas meters and regulators to ensure they're working properly. They'll have identification and may need to enter your home or business, but won't ask you for names, account numbers, or any other personal information. Ferrari is going electric. The sports car maker has unveiled the parts that will go into its first electric model. The Electrica is expected to have a top speed of 310 kilometers an hour. Anyone worried about missing that famous engine roar? No need. The company is promising the car will have a distinct electric Ferrari sound.
Fall, one of my favorite times of year, and one of the reasons is the fashion. Lifestyle expert, fashion expert, all of the things. Liz Crawford joining us here. It's so good to see you again, Liz.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Mostly excited. Oh, no, I'm mostly excited to see you. But of course, you're bringing in some great fashion. So let's talk about this season. Every time that we change up from, you know, summer into fall, we're starting to do like more layering and all of that. But what are some of the trends that we're seeing this time of year?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I love about this fall is color. It's all the color, and it's okay. Like what we've always often thought as traditional spring colors are coming into play this fall, which I love. So we're seeing pinks and we're seeing yellows, and typically that's always been a spring thing. So I'm loving that, as well as we're seeing a little bit of a throwback to the 90s.
Okay, we are all here for that, are we not? Because I just think that that speaks to like a lot of our nostalgia, right? I mean, the young kids are the ones kind of like bringing it back, but then we're looking at these pieces being like, oh yeah, I remember.
I lived that.
All right, let's talk about this first look. This is stunning.
This is from Banana Republic. So first of all, I went to the Outlet Collection Winnipeg, which is an amazing fashion mall in town, which I just want to tell you, inside secret, there's so many promotions right now. If you're looking for a sale, you want to go. So this look here is from Banana Republic. Again, I love the pink, and it's a deeper pink. It's a softer pink.
It's dusty rose kind of.
Dusty rose kind of pink, paired with the burgundy blouse. Absolutely love this suit look. And of course, the black and white checkered fall to winter coat, sort of the car coat. Really elegant and just a classic piece. Christina, do you mind taking the coat off, honey, just so we can see the suit underneath?
Like, I feel like you just wanted to get me back shopping again, Liz, because this speaks to me. I'm in my suit era, as you know. Yeah. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, yeah, I think I need this in my closet.
Yes, and the pant, as you'll notice, is sort of a hybrid between what was the skinny pant a couple years ago, which was huge, into the really baggy men's trouser. Now we have the hybrid. And it's comfort with the pleats, really flattering, and again, in that color, which is just perfect.
I really also love the length of this pant because it's just a little bit cropped, right? So you don't have to do the hemming of it, but it also works when you're getting into kind of the wintry season, right? Because otherwise, some of the things too long, the slush, the mess, the snow, all of that, this is still going to be clean and sharp, and you look fantastic.
You do. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. All right, we don't want to forget about the men, so let's take a look and see what's up next.
We have Marcus, and this look is from Calvin Klein, and note the jeans. They've almost got a bit of an acid wash, and I'm seeing...
We remember.
I'm seeing so much denim that has more of the acid wash. Again, a little bit of the baggier jean is coming back.
Yeah.
They even have a lot of the pattern jean. I think there was a floral men's jean when I went into Calvin Klein.
I love it. Okay.
It is beyond so cool. And of course, the Adidas inspired sweater. You know, they have the stripes. Again, Calvin Klein, they owned the 90s. So it's not a big surprise to me that this is as hot as it is coming back.
It's so classy. I mean, it's retro, but it's really chic at the same time. I love what you've done. You've paired it with, these are neutral pieces that will stay in your closet. I mean, obviously they've had a life, but they're going to continue to have life as we continue through this season. So yeah,
absolutely.
Everything about this looking good. All right, one more look to showcase.
Yes.
Let's bring her out.
Yes, Jenna has got the classic sort of nautical look from Tommy Hilfiger. Again, denim is everywhere and in every color. So I loved these wide leg denim pants. And a lot of people are afraid of white into September and October. They're like, I don't know if I could wear white jeans.
Yeah, you can. This looks good.
This looks great. It is the classic Tommy Hilfiger. We saw Christy Brinkley wear something exactly like this in the 90s.
Love it.
And it's just a look that we've seen that it just never goes out of style. And Tommy Hilfiger does that so, so well.
You're right. This is a look that won't go out of style. I mean, we saw it done in the 90s, but we've seen it done, like, I swear, every year because it is the classic pieces. Just an easy sweater like that, right? Hey, I'm all about white into, right?
Absolutely.
It's fun and it's fresh and it looks so sharp.
It does.
Right? You just have to try and keep it clean. So
absolutely.
Do you know my tip for whites and washing them? Use dishwasher detergent for your whites. Honestly, it brightens them right up. So look at this. We're giving lifestyle tips. We're giving fashion tips. You name it.
Yes.
And all of these from Outlet Collection Mall.
All of them from the Outlet Collection Winnipeg.
All right, check them out. Like she said, the promotions are big right now. Get shopping. Have some fun with your fall fashion. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
To help you fall into fashion, Your Morning Winnipeg is giving away 3 $500 shopping sprees from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and submit your details, and make sure to join us again on Fashion Friday next week for the latest in fall fashion from Outlet Collection Winnipeg.
All right, it's beautiful out there. Get your sunglasses out. It's 1 degree and plenty of sunshine. Winds out of the west are 10 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 97%. I'm just so full of tips today. You're welcome, because what have I told you already? That you need to put gravy on your boiled pierogies, that you need to put cranberry in your sandwich, that you need to wash your whites with dishwasher detergent. And here's the last tip for you. When you're making that leftover sandwich, you need to put a little bit of gravy on the plate first, and then you're going to put your piece of bread on, and what that does is it allows it to stick, but it also gives that layer, that bottom layer, all of the moisture that it needs, right? Because you're just talking about a layer of bread. Throw that cranberry sauce in there if you have it. Director Kim, she's like, we don't even have cranberry at the table because they don't need it. Shame. Anyway, get some cranberry, put it on there. You'll be glad you did. And gravy on your boiled pierogies. Have a fabulous Thanksgiving. It's going to start out beautifully. It's going to get a little bit soggy. It's going to get a little bit cool. But by then you're eating your turkey sandwich and you're so happy that you don't even mind. We're taking a break. We'll see you soon.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Before we send you on your way for the long weekend, we're going to send you with some fun video. One of the biggest great white sharks ever spotted in the Atlantic Ocean has been located in the water off Atlantic Canada. Contender is a 4-meter great white, or 13 feet. This shark weighs more than 700 kilos. Well, that video is not too much fun. A little scary, but pretty cool indeed. Wow. And okay, who wants to see an adorable newborn? Check this out. An adorable newborn hippo calf. This is at the Berlin Zoo, and the little guy was born at the end of September. Look how little he is.
He looks like a house hippo.
Yeah, he's a little underweight for a newborn. He's around 28 kilograms, but he's going to find his way.
Oh my, look, yes, he is a house hippo.
Yeah. And then a Missouri woman is working to rehome the collection from her late grandmother's hair museum. Leela's Hair Museum is named for its former owner. It's closing its doors now, but not before Leela's granddaughter works to send its artifacts around the country. There's claims some of the hair is from people like Marilyn Monroe and even Jesus. The museum was a destination, though. Even the late Ozzy Osbourne visited it once. I don't know if I believe that, but that does it for us. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We'll see you on Tuesday.